Hello, hello. Hello. When does Artemis go around the moon? I know that that's probably today, right? But I don't know what time. All right, let's bring up our first guest. I have a feeling is not a flat earther, but
yeah,
you never
hello.
know.
So the first proposition I affirm is that space and time are a priori.
Negative conceivability there.
They're derived synthetic a priori, since they're going to be categories that condition the possibility of understanding. Now,
negative conceivability.
proposition
Okay.
in conjunction. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay. He clearly didn't want to have a conversation, right? Let's try it. Let's try him again.
I don't know why you're running from me, Doctor.
Welcome back. Do you want to have a conversation?
To be clear, you're running from me. You're dodging.
Do you want to have a
Just
conversation?
to be very clear about this, I'm giving my deductive argument.
Negative conceivability. We need to take that 10 down to like a 5. Okay. So negative conceivability. Do you think that the Earth is flat?
Yes, good sir. I need you to engage with the debate proposition and move it forward. Otherwise, you're implicitly conceding. I'm providing deductive evidence.
Why do you think that the Earth is flat?
I just want to flag that I have a spatial IQ of 189. I listen to Mozart every morning in my chambers. I'm infinitely smart.
That's such a good troll. It's such a good troll. In my chambers. Should we bring him back up? It's so funny. That's such a good troll. Let's bring him back up. Hold on.
You're dodging, obfuscating, bloviating, and prevaricating. I don't know if you think you look good in the conversation, but you're lost in the rhetorical maze. You're conceptually cucked. You're conceptually malnourished. I just want to be very clear about this. My argument is going to be deriving the possibility of experience from synthetic a priori categories. That's going to constitute a sufficient condition for the understanding, which itself is going to provide the abductive case for the proposition that the Earth is flat. So what I need you to do is repeat everything I just said and stop waffling, stop dodging. Do you think you look good in the conversation right now? Doctor, put your face down, ass up right now. You're receiving conceptual backshots. Now you're just pivoting to meta and banging your chest. You've been absolutely dispatching the conversation. I just want to be very clear.
I love you. Will you marry? Oh, he left. Oh. Oh, what a shame. That was so funny. He has been indeed watching Ian. Or maybe Dark Dawkins, because he said prevaricating. That was so funny. Oh. I actually think that was Ian's friend. I don't know which one of Ian's friends, but I think it was one of Ian's friends. Oh, that was funny. Okay. What a good way to start the morning. That was really funny. Okay, let's talk to Take That Blessing. Take That Blessing, how's it going?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. Take That Blessing, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Definitely flat, because I'm an idiot.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks for being here.
Yes.
At least he was honest. Let's talk to Moon Boy. Moon Boy, how's it going?
Hey. So first of all, I do think the Earth is round, obviously.
Okay, but it does say opposition only.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I had a question for flat earthers though, but
nope.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm not a flat earther, so it's not the right place. What's that phrase? Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? It's so funny. So many good memes. So many good memes. Such a good time. Well, thank you for the superstar, Josh. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Did you guys see the Miss Grand Thailand thing? with that one woman who was just like fucking killing it on the dance floor. It's stuck in my head. All right, let's talk to Name. Name, how's it going?
Yo,
How's it
what's
going?
going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Name, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's flat.
Why?
I don't know, man. It just seems like it's so hard to believe that it's actually a globe.
What makes it hard to believe?
Just the idea of space being a vacuum and that we're losing our atmosphere.
Well, we're not really losing much.
We're losing some of it though.
A tiny bit, but like, how is that hard to believe?
Why is it a tiny bit?
Because the Earth's gravity is pretty strong.
You think it's, but like it's really not that strong up in the higher atmospheres.
Sure it is.
How are satellites floating in the upper orbit?
They're not floating, they're orbiting. Orbiting requires gravity.
But doesn't it get weaker as you go higher?
Yeah, but like within 100 miles, it's hardly any weaker.
But doesn't a vacuum suck?
No.
It doesn't suck.
No. What happens for a vacuum is you have high pressure regions. High pressure regions push out. And unless there's something pushing in to keep it in, the high pressure region will push out in all directions. And vacuums don't have any pressure. So if there was nothing holding the atmosphere in, like gravity, then you would have the high pressure air would push outwards and try to expand into the vacuum. But the vacuums don't suck. All that it is it's a lack of pressure keeping it in.
Yeah, there's no container keeping in
except the gravity does keep the atmosphere in.
But that's not there's not a container. The gas molecules are not bouncing off of gravity.
They don't have to bounce off of something. Gravity pulls them in the downward direction.
Well, that's actually how you get pressure.
Yeah, from the gravity.
You get pressure from gas molecules being in a container.
No, it doesn't require some physical barrier.
So could you what happens if you just get some helium without a container?
If you just get some helium, well, look, if you have forces keeping the helium in place, then it'll stay in place. If you don't have forces keeping it in place, it won't.
So you're saying there's a force keeping space separated from our atmosphere?
There's a force called gravity keeping our atmosphere close to the Earth.
Do you know how much gallons of air we lose to space every day?
Probably a big number, but that's because gallons is probably not the appropriate scale as far as the Earth is concerned. Do you know how many?
Yeah, it's in the billions.
Yeah, okay. Do you know how many gallons are in the atmosphere, period? Also, you probably shouldn't measure gases in using a volume, if only because you can compress gases into any volume you want just by compressing it or letting it expand, right? So we could talk about kilograms. How many kilograms of gas is lost from the atmosphere every day? We can just Google this, right?
Yeah.
So we get about 250,000 to 300,000 kilograms of gas is lost every day.
It's about the math.
It's about 100.
Like how did they figure that out?
That's a good question. We could try to figure that out ourselves if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
So probably the thing that we should do is we should. And well, wait a minute. How ready are you for doing some mathematics?
I'm ready, dude.
Okay. So do you know the phenomenon of how evaporation happens?
Go ahead and you can go ahead and educate me.
Yeah. So in a liquid, the molecules are not all bound together like they are in a solid. They're kind of just like loosely associated with each other. And so there's some weak bonds holding them together, but they're very weak. And so those molecules in the liquid are bouncing around off of each other. They're jiggling a lot, right? And sometimes what'll happen, sorry, there's something in my throat. Sometimes what'll happen is that they'll jiggle around in just the right way that a molecule near the top will get enough energy to escape. And you can calculate the probability that this happens based off of the temperature of the liquid, based off of the partial pressure of the gas above it, based off of the partial pressure is the relevant thing, the temperature is the relevant thing. Those are basically the two relevant variables here. And the composition of the liquid, of course. You can calculate the probability that an atom or a molecule will escape from the surface of the liquid and become a vapor, become a gas in the ambient gas above it. And it's a similar thing happening for the, and that will give you a rate at which evaporation takes place, right? If it's hotter, then you'll get more evaporation. If it's less humid, you'll get more evaporation, etc. Now, you can do a similar thing for the Earth's atmosphere, but in this case, instead of the gas molecules being held together by bonds between them, and that's what's holding them in place, what's holding them in place for the atmosphere is the Earth's gravity. And so you can calculate the probability that a gas molecule will be kicked to give enough energy so that it can escape the Earth's gravity. And that's the way that you can at least approximate the rate at which the gas molecules are leaving the Earth.
There's actually a formula for it.
Yeah, where do you think that formula came from?
Do you know what formula it is?
I could probably derive this formula. What's the formula that you have in mind?
Can you derive it for me?
Probably not live. It would probably take some thought. But this is how you do physics, right? You start with some first principles analysis, like the one I just gave you, and then you work through the steps to try to derive some sort of rate or some sort of thing that you're trying to calculate.
It's the Jeans escape formula.
Okay. What does the formula say?
I can't even begin to read it, brother.
You can't read it?
It says, so it's pretty much the total Jeans escape. It equals the number of density, pretty much of the molecules times the Boltzmann constant over the temperature and molecular mass times 2. And then it is actually multiplied by the Jeans parameter.
Okay, do you know what the Jean parameter is?
Yeah, it's gravity mass times...
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, gravity?
Yeah. Do you believe in gravity?
No, I'm talking about I'm not saying that gravity doesn't exist.
Oh, well then the Earth can't be flat.
I'm just saying I don't think that gravity is strong enough to keep the entire atmosphere inside an invisible barrier that doesn't escape.
But this formula actually looking at this formula now, where the escape velocity is showing up in lambda c, this is exactly the kind of formula that I was thinking of. You have a Boltzmann distribution, which tells you the distribution of velocity of the particles, of the gas particles, which tells you the velocity as a function of height, or it's going to tell you the velocity distribution probability at a given pressure and temperature and so on. And then you're going to relate that velocity to the escape velocity, which shows up in Jean's escape formula. So this is exactly the kind of thing that I would have expected it would be. It involves the gravitational attraction of the gas molecules by Earth. So why do you think that the Earth's gravity isn't involved here if it's precisely the thing that is involved?
I don't know. It's just hard to believe.
Which part?
The idea that space is a vacuum.
The idea that space is a vacuum? What makes that hard to believe?
It's just because there's no barrier holding in our atmosphere, and it's just you have an infinite expanding.
You don't need a solid barrier.
Possibly imagine.
You don't need a solid barrier. All you need is some sort of force pulling it in.
Yeah, but it's obviously we're losing.
Yeah, and I've already explained why. It's the same reason why evaporation happens.
Yeah, I don't know how that relates to evaporation.
Evaporation happens when you, so you know how water boils at 100 degrees Celsius?
Yeah.
But evaporation still happens at a lower temperature than that, right?
Yes.
Oh, there's the giggle. So evaporation happens at a lower temperature than the boiling
I'm laughing
point.
at the comments.
Evaporation happens at a lower temperature than the boiling point. And the reason that happens is because even though the forces holding the water together are strong enough on average to keep the water from escaping and becoming a gas, because of the statistical motion of the water molecules in the water, sometimes those water molecules can get enough of a kick that an individual water molecule can escape. That's what evaporation is. It's not the whole thing boils, it's the individual water molecules get just enough energy to escape. Similarly, even though on average the air molecules don't have enough energy to escape the Earth's gravitational pull, because the air molecules can bounce off of each other and get some extra energy occasionally via, you know, this kind of random statistical phenomenon, occasionally an air molecule has enough energy to escape the Earth's gravitational pull. And that's what the Jeans escape formula is calculating.
Yeah, I just feel like the math of the vacuum is not taken into account here. Like the actual the force from an infinite space that has zero vacuum. That's it's just there's nothing.
You have a lot of feelings there.
Yeah, I don't believe. That's why I told you all I'm going off is belief. It just doesn't seem practical to me.
Okay, well, what do you make of the fact that, you know, we currently have 4 astronauts on the way to the moon?
Oh, yeah. See, we're gonna disagree there. I don't know if that's I don't believe in that.
You just don't believe your eyes?
I mean, NASA's lied to us before, so it's like it's kind of have trust issues now.
So you didn't see it with your own eyes?
But do you agree that NASA has lied to us before?
Nobody's ever given me a good example of that. Could you give me an example of NASA lying to us?
Yeah, I mean the footage of like they have already debunked like the footage of the astronauts being they're all on harnesses and all
Wait,
this
so
stuff.
where's the evidence of NASA lying to us?
Because they released the footage.
Which footage?
Of the astronauts on harnesses.
So where was the lie?
They said that they were in space, but they were in a studio.
Okay, so can you find me, or can you point to me the documentation? Because I know you have a computer in front of you. Can you point to me the documentation where they say this particular photo was in space, and then can you show me the evidence that it was actually in a studio?
Yeah, just go to YouTube and type in harness NASA.
Oh, I know exactly what you're I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
You're talking about this one video by...
This is for the skeptics. Check this.
Sorry?
What was that?
Oh, I thought you said something. Hold on, we can play this. 1 sec, let me just pull it up so everybody can see. Here's what we're watching. Oops, sorry, I have to hit play. So I think we're watching this guy touch this guy.
Yeah, you see him grabbing the harness?
No, I think he was just trying to grab his friend, but his friend was out of the way. Look, he was trying to grab his friend, but his friend was out of the way. Like, have you never reached for something and then missed?
I wish I can pull up the video. Hold on a second, man.
Here's a question. If he's grabbing a harness and it was just edited out, why can we see?
There's way better ones, brother.
Wait, hold on. But we can just think about this. If he's grabbing a harness, but they just edited it out, why can we see his entire hand?
What are you talking about?
Why can we see his entire hand? Part of his hand would have been behind the harness.
Okay.
So, and yet we can see the entire hand.
You can't. Let me see.
You can literally see his entire hand. His hand isn't like edited out anywhere. Like his hand doesn't have a gap in it. You can see all of his fingers. The whole time.
I'm not even talking about this video. I've actually never even seen that video. I'm talking about
here he's grabbing the harness, but you can see the whole hand, right? Like, the whole hand is visible. What's he grabbing? Of course, there's better ones, right? Of course, there's better ones. So where's the proof that they lied to us?
I'm trying to find the video so you can pull it up.
I'm sure.
But you're saying they've never lied to us, huh?
No, maybe they have, but nobody's ever given me like a good case
hold
of.
on a second. Why did you say maybe we have though?
I said maybe they have. What I said is that nobody's ever
lied to us, though?
Nobody's ever given me a case of this actually happening that they can demonstrate. Right. So like maybe someday one person will be like, aha, here's the one time that NASA lied to us, and they'll be able to prove it. But until then, I don't have any reason to think that they have. By the way, NASA isn't the only organization that's involved in the Artemis mission. There is a Canadian on the Artemis 2 spacecraft, which, you know, that's a separate space agency. So has the Canadian Space Agency lied to us? Are you typing in, has the Canadian Space Agency lied to us? Because if you are, that's extra funny.
No. It's hard to find this stuff on YouTube, to be honest, man.
Maybe because it's not real.
I don't know, man. NASA it's hard to believe them, dude.
But you believe random YouTube videos?
I don't find them on YouTube, man. Can't find anything on YouTube.
So you believe random TikTok videos?
I'm more of an X user.
Okay, so you believe random tweets?
Well, like, yeah, actually footage from like the astronauts, yeah.
Okay, so do you believe the footage from the astronauts when they point their window out the mirror and they see, or out the window and they see Earth?
Could you pull that up for me?
Well, yeah, there was a photo taken just a few days ago, like 2 days ago.
Show me the video of what you just said.
Oh, I don't actually know if they have video from the interior.
That's why it's kind of sketchy. But
I can go look. I just haven't looked.
I mean, everything looks. All the photos look so like CGI. There's no. They brought cameras, so they brought iPhones on the trip. Apparently, Dartmouth. So we'll see.
Will you believe it when they?
Yeah, I'll contest. Yep.
Okay. Artemis 2 onboard camera view. Okay, so oh, yeah, here we go. So here is is this the full? Oh, that's neat. This is like the full launch sequence for like the first 45 minutes. Yeah, here we go. This is something interesting. This isn't from inside, this is from outside, but definitely worth looking at. So I'm just going to rewind a little bit. So here we have it's on the ground, right? I'm just going to speed it up a lot. And I'm just going to scroll through. So we have ground, and then here we are. There was there was SRB separation. SRB separated. We can skip forward a little bit more.
What are we seeing right now?
What you're seeing is I actually don't know. I skipped forward a little bit, so it's hard to say. Let's just watch. Oh, it was just a camera change. That's all.
This looks like a TI-85 calculator. recorded this?
There's the fairing side. Oh, we're looking up. That's why. We're looking up basically into the upper atmosphere. That's why it's kind of like darkish and kind of fuzzy. There's not a whole lot to look at, but you can see the Earth up in the upper right-hand corner, or you can see the ground anyway, or like some corner of the sky that's bright.
You said they have.
So we're looking up. We can keep watching. Skipping forward a little bit. Oh, hey, look, I wonder what that is. That might be the moon, actually. I don't know for certain, but that might be the moon. And let's skip forward a little bit more. Oh, here's another capture from launch. Oh no, what's that? What's that? Is that the Earth maybe?
Just that doesn't look real. That just doesn't look real to me, man.
I guess you don't believe your own lying eyes.
I mean, okay, well, let's keep going. Let's see the whole Earth. Will the whole Earth come into frame here?
I don't know. We can just keep skipping forward if you want.
Yep.
Oh, here's a camera change. This is the Orion LAS jettison that we just saw. Here's the European service module being jettisoned. Now we have a different camera angle. There's the sun. You can see a little bit of the Earth there. Here's another jettison. That's the emergency escape whatever jettison. Here's the separation of the main booster from the Orion capsule.
CGI shit I've ever. That?
Can you prove it? Which part's fake?
Hold on, go back.
Which part's fake?
That might be from Star Wars. Go back.
This part? Which part's fake?
Go. Play that.
Yeah.
What is this?
That's the separation of the main booster from the Orion space capsule. Which part do you have a problem with? What about it is fake?
What was that? Okay, go back. Go back.
That thing?
What is that?
That's there's a name for it. It's an emergency device that they basically keep on the rocket until they're high enough in orbit that they can't use it anymore.
Dude,
it's used to.
I want to see that thing move again.
Okay, I'll put it.
That looks like Star Wars.
I'll put it at normal speed. It was sped up. Keep that in mind. Here we go.
That must be the most Star Wars 3D. What? Do you believe that?
What part about it is fake?
Are you joking?
Which part about it is fake?
Bro, this is straight out of a movie. Please tell me.
Do you know what that is?
That looks real to you?
Do you know what that is? Yeah. If you knew what it was, it would. I can show you what it's called. I'll show you in a sec.
No. I want that video. You think that's real?
I'll show you in a sec. There is a device called the Launch Abort System. It's the LAS. That's the thing that you're seeing. So let me show you what the Launch Abort System is on the Artemis 2. It's actually a fairly common device.
Can you at least agree with me that does look a little weird?
Not really. If you knew what it was, you wouldn't think that it's weird looking.
But just because.
So look, this is the Launch Abort. This is the Launch Abort System. See that thing at the top, that little pointy bit? That's the thing that you're seeing. And here's the version of it, like, you know, while it's being built. It's actually quite large. So it's that pointy thing at the top. That's what they're getting rid of. And so if we just go back here, they're ejecting it. There, it's ejected.
That is the most. It just distorted. Go back. It just distorted.
This is literally a wide-angle lens.
Dude, that's more than a wide angle.
What were you about to say?
What? I have cameras. That wide-angle lens.
I have cameras. Sure, it does. I mean, like literally, you can see that. You can see the distortion.
Not cause that much distortion.
You can see the distortion in the Earth. Like, see how it bends up. See how it bends up on the left and it bends down on the right. You can see the distortion there. It's a wide-angle lens.
What is this? Are they recording through inside of the spaceship here?
I think so. So this is definitely from inside. And then here they have some sort of thing come off at the top. And by the way, you can see the distortion in the shape of the Earth here, right? Like, you can see that it bends in like a wonky way. So like that's what you're seeing. Like, yeah, there is distortion right there at the edge of the frame. There is distortion, sure.
Okay. Then you ask me like why I don't. This it just doesn't look real to me, man.
Okay, so it doesn't look real to you because they're using a wide-angle lens. Like, is
No,
that the
the
view?
way that thing is moving looks like a star, like a star.
You realize that it has rockets attached to it, right? What do you think those red bits? What do you think the orange bits are?
Okay, how
those are
is it
literally
pushing-
rockets.
But what is it pushing off of?
It has rockets. It's not pushing off of anything. It ejects itself with rockets.
But how is there propeller? Like, how is it propelling if there's no gas molecules for it to propel off of?
Do you think that rockets require atmosphere?
Yes.
They don't.
How is that even? Can you prove that?
Yeah, it's Newton's third law.
But right now it's changing.
What's changing?
It's obviously changing directions in space. You actually think that you can
hold on. To be clear,
hold on a second.
It's not obviously changing directions in space, but yeah, if you had one, if you had, no, I mean, like it could be that our perspective, that the capsule that it was attached to is also rotating. But even if it was changing directions in space, all you need is one of the nozzles to be firing stronger than another nozzle. But
what is it propelling off of?
It's not propelling off of something. It's carrying fuel. It's carrying rocket fuel.
Okay, so now all of a sudden,
if you take rocket fuel and you cause it to explode and fire it out the back, you will go forward.
But not in space, because you're not.
Yes, in space. You don't have to push off of anything for rocket thrust to push you forward.
You need atmosphere, like some gas.
No, you don't. On what grounds do you think that that's the case? That's not how a rocket works. That's how an airplane works, not how a rocket works.
Let's go back to the video and keep watching.
Hold on. Not until you understand that rockets work in space. You understand that, right? I can show you if you want. I can show you an example of like a test that was done explicitly for this purpose.
Does propulsion work in a vacuum?
Yep. Type it into Google. You're going to be awfully surprised when you find out that the answer is yes. What's the answer?
I guess I was wrong, man, but I need to look into that. It doesn't make sense.
Here, let me show you a video of a guy who built a vacuum chamber and put a rocket in it. Like a rocket engine. So here, this is after the thing, but watch the next frame. So here we have the vacuum chamber. The rocket nozzle is here. The thrust, or the force, it's basically a scale. It's a thrust measuring device is here. And then he's just going to start it. You saw a little puff, by the way. That's what caused it to oscillate a little bit. Now it's turning on, and look, it's producing thrust. How is it producing thrust? It was in a vacuum.
I will concede. I guess I was wrong. Can we go back to the video?
Sure.
Yeah. That's hard to believe, but we'll continue. Look how many stars. Wait, are those stars on the back?
No, that's debris.
Okay.
So like when you do a separation like this, you have explosives that basically pop the top off from the bottom, and what you're seeing is the debris from the explosives.
Okay.
It's not doing anything. It's just the video is paused. Here we have another frame. This is from the Apogee Rays burn. This is the European Service Module. I don't actually know what's about to happen. Okay, I guess it's just going to do something. Oh, it's just burning the engine. You can't see it because it's on the back, but it's burning its engines to adjust its trajectory. We can skip forward a little bit because nothing interesting is happening. It's realigning. Still nothing interesting is happening. Oh, I think that something interesting is about to happen. Oh, see that? Turning on its thruster to adjust its trajectory. There's the sun. I'm just skipping forward because it's not a lot to look at. And then we can see the Earth come back into frame. And I think that that's basically the rest of it. I don't think there's much more beyond that. So yeah, I mean, like, is this just all made up and a lie?
Yeah, it definitely looks like CGI.
On what grounds?
On the grounds of that thing coming off looking like the most CGI thing I've ever seen in my entire life, man.
On what grounds do you
I
have to
don't know what
evaluate that it
formula.
looks like CGI?
I mean, even you could show me all those things. You could just talk. You could be talking for hours, right?
And you
And
would just
I
be
look
like,
at
yeah,
that
it looks
video.
like CGI. But like,
If
look,
I
you're
look
not
at that
a
video,
you're
and
not
it looks
like
like
a
the most fake thing I've ever seen. I've seen AI videos look better than that.
okay. So then why wouldn't they make it look better?
I don't know, because it's just I don't know. Like, that's what shocks me the most.
Well, maybe because it's not CGI and that's just how it actually looks.
They've already been caught and copying. Have you seen them like copy pasting clouds of photos of the Earth?
I think I know what you're referring to, but that was never claimed to be a single photo of the Earth.
What are you talking about? NASA.
I think you're talking about like I think it's called the 2002 Blue Marble. I think it was 2002. And that image was never claimed to be a photograph of the Earth. Nobody ever claimed that.
It was CGI.
It wasn't CGI, it was composite.
Composite?
Do you know what CGI means?
Yeah, a computer generated image.
Right. So a composite is just when you take actual photographs and then you stitch them together.
So
it's not CGI. It's just a composite.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So.
And the photo was, or the image was never claimed to be like a photograph, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was.
Do you have evidence of that? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
I mean, they just released a photo of the Earth. Could you pull that up?
Yeah, the one that debunks every single flat earther. Yeah, I know exactly the photo. It's actually like a beautiful photo. You mean this one?
Yeah, and didn't they release one 12 hours apart?
I don't know. Maybe.
Could you pull that one up for me, man?
I don't even know what photo you're talking about. If there was another one that was like 12 hours afterwards.
They just took that one, and then they did another one 12 hours apart.
Let me look up the Artemis 2 photos of the Earth. We can just Google that. Do you mean like there's another one where it's like half crescenty? It's like halfway lit. Oh, maybe yeah. I can go to the NPR webpage. Maybe they have a whole bunch. Okay, so here we have a few. I don't know. Maybe you'll tell me. Is it this one?
Come on, bro.
That's a photo taken from the inside the capsule.
Okay, and then
we have this one, which is taken from the window, obviously.
Okay, I'm looking at.
And then we have here, and then we have. Are you talking about this one?
No, I'm talking about that bottom one, the one. Yeah, this one.
This one, okay.
And then wasn't this 12 hours later?
I don't know what time it was taken.
Well, it has to be because it's not lit, right?
Well, so to be clear, this is also the dark side of the Earth. It's just high exposure, so we can see the Earth as it's reflected using like the moonlight, right? That's why you can see stars in this photo, because it's a long exposure photo.
But okay, so
this is a nighttime. This is a nighttime picture, by the way.
So the one from the the one from the inside, is that also a long exposure?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's actually not a long exposure, because
it also might be a different side of the Earth, right?
Oh, okay. So I guess
because they were orbiting, you know.
you're telling is the thing is that this is not the same. It's not. It is 12 hours apart
How do you know?
because the one
I can go look for the official timestamps. By the way, I'm sure that we have them. I just have to.
Because
let me see if I can find them.
The first one that with the Earth lit is not. That's not a long exposure shot.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. If you can provide me like some sort of timestamp or something, that'd be great. Usually NASA will have these things timestamped on their website, but they might not actually be published on their website in like an archival sense yet. Because all I'm seeing is like news sources that are posting these images rather than them being hosted on NASA's website. Oh, actually, here we go. Maybe this is what we want. We don't have the. I want the timestamp for the actual individual photos. So here we have an entire archive on NASA's website. So here you have pictures from the inside. Oh, Josh might be helpful here.
Ooh, this is awesome. What website is this?
This is NASA's website. Josh, if you have the timestamps, feel free to get up here.
How's it going?
Hey, you got them timestamps?
Good to see you. Yeah, let me get to my computer. So if you download those photos, the ones that are shot on the Nikon cameras, the EXIF information with the timestamps are actually embedded in the photos themselves. You just have to have a program that's capable of reading it.
Okay.
So 1 second here.
Do you happen to know if the photos, if this photo here, I don't know if you can see my screen, was taken significantly later than this nighttime photo?
I can tell you in 1 second.
Okay.
Let me just pull them down.
Yeah,
because
so
I don't have.
I think that this photo and this photo were taken at the same time. Because I mean, you can see everything's in the same orientation. It's just this is longer exposure, right?
Yeah, the photo on the screen now was shot at ISO 51,200 at a quarter of a second at f4. That would be considered a fairly long exposure by most people in the know.
And this one, less so.
A quarter of a second is not that long.
In photography terms, it is. Typically, you're told to not hand hold the camera at slower than 1/60th of a second. So by photographic terms, that's a fairly long exposure.
So at 60 frames per second video.
No, 1/60th of a second, not 60 frames per second.
Frame shutter, yeah. But a long exposure shot is not considered a quarter of a second.
Yes, it is. I'm a professional photographer with 30 years experience, my friend. So let me get to wrong link.
It says a longer
see more photos.
Shot,
there we are.
A long exposure shot is typically 1 second or longer.
Yeah, a quarter of a second though, you would typically introduce I'm on the page looking for that one shot. There it is. So at a quarter of a second, if you're not careful, you would typically introduce motion blur.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that a quarter of a second doesn't take the Earth from being a dark sphere to being a lit up.
I mean, the ISO does too, right? I mean, so you want long exposure and ISO, but you can't do a 5 second exposure, right? If things are moving so fast. So you do I guess you do like a quarter second exposure, and then you crank up the ISO, which I guess is the reason why it's so grainy, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. ISO, I mean, it's gonna let more light in. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, so that's why it's visibly brighter, even though it's nighttime.
Yeah, but he could have cranked up the ISO when he first took the first shot.
You mean the dark
The
one?
dark side.
What?
Yeah.
But the point wasn't to make it, right? The point was to capture the night side, and then they cranked up the ISO for the bright side, or for the night side again, to get 2 different pictures of the same thing.
Okay, there we go. So I have the timestamp for the first one. Let me see. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong thing. So the photo from inside the capsule looking through the window
Yes.
was its timestamp reads 12:43 and 20 seconds PM.
12:43
Mm-hmm.
p.m.
The timestamp for the photo of the Earth that's on screen right now is 12:27 and 39 seconds AM. So they were shot a little under 20 minutes apart.
Okay.
Okay, so but that's my whole point is that when the Earth is lit up in that first photo, was the first
changing
photo
the
taken-
ISO
was the first photo inside of the spaceship shot with a quarter of a second shutter and a high ISO? How are we able to see the
one that's on the screen now? Was the settings for the camera? It was a Nikon D5. The ISO was 51,200.
on the
The
I'm
f-stop.
talking about the one inside of the ship.
That
This
one doesn't appear to have the EXIF information attached to it.
And that's exactly what my point is.
Okay.
What's your
Because
point?
how are you able to see a dark Earth from within this is the contradictory part is. If you have shot with a high ISO and a longer shutter speed from inside of the shuttle, the lit up part inside of the photo would be overexposed. You would see
How fast?
on the right,
hold on, I
on
just
the
have
right side would be very bright. It'd be almost a white light.
I have a question. How long do you think it takes to orbit the Earth?
Why are you diverting right now?
No,
brother?
this is relevant. I promise.
This is not relevant to the shot.
I can assure you it's
I'm
very
talking
relevant.
about this shot is fake. And
I know. I can assure you it's relevant. How long do you think it takes to orbit the Earth?
To orbit the Earth?
Yeah.
From what?
From the Artemis spacecraft.
How fast are they going?
It depends on their altitude, but I think that this was right after the injection burn, the translunar injection burn, so they're probably going 25,000 miles an hour.
25,000 miles an hour?
Yep.
So bullcrap. Okay.
So how long? About an hour.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So,
going 25,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. So over the course of 20 minutes, they are a third of the way around the planet.
Okay, what does that have to do with
what that means is that this side, what we're seeing here, you can actually see the reflection of the sun. That is the lit side. Whereas this is the night side.
Yeah.
What the heck are you even talking about?
They swung around the Earth.
It was, you told me they were 20 minutes apart.
Yeah, they swung around the Earth.
They went
a third of the way around the Earth in 20 minutes, yeah.
Oh, that's even harder to believe, dude.
Why?
Because ain't nobody moving 25,000 miles an hour.
So
you're talking about you orbited half the Earth in 20 seconds?
So this is right after completing the translunar injection burn, apparently, is when this photo was taken. Do we have a timestamp for when the translunar injection burn began?
Let me see.
Because I actually don't know what, because like, these say that, they were after the translunar injection burn, which means that they could have been traveling very, very quickly, but it's from the picture, it's hard to see how far away they are and how long after the translunar injection burn it was. So we would need timestamps there.
And what's the timestamp on the one inside of the ship?
This one's like 20 minutes after, right?
So the TLI happened at 23:49 UTC.
Oh, so this is like 12 hours after.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
so this is 12 hours
so it was 7:49 Eastern Standard.
So now, so how many times did we wrote this? If it's 12 hours after, how many times did we just pass circulate?
We'd have to do the math on that.
But you just said we can do in 1 hour circumnavigate the entire globe.
So at 25,000 miles an hour, you are near the surface of the Earth. You are going around the Earth once per hour. Typical orbital velocity in lower Earth orbit, which is between 100 and 400 miles up, then you're orbiting in about 90 minutes. But this is not a circular orbit, so we would have to do the math to figure out where in the orbit they are 12 hours after the injection burn.
A lot of people are saying 36 times. Did 30 people? Did we? So wait,
who's saying 36 times?
In the comments.
Who cares about the comments?
Okay, you just told me we went around the Earth to the other side of the moon in 30 minutes or 20 minutes, right?
No, not to the other side of the moon. What?
The other side of the Earth in 20 minutes. 30 minutes.
So
at
25,000 miles an hour. At 25,000 miles an hour, you are going around the Earth in about an hour. The Earth's circumference is about 25,000 miles.
Okay, so how are these photos 12 hours apart?
These photos are not 12 hours apart.
You just told me
these photos are 12 hours after the translunar injection burn.
Let me double check something here. What is? Claim
how?
A date?
So explain what you just said.
These photos were 12 hours after the translunar injection burn, meaning that they were no longer in low Earth orbit. So my initial assumption, because it said it was after the translunar injection burn, which was done in low Earth orbit, this is 12 hours after they left low Earth orbit. So it's hard to say where they would be relative to the surface of the Earth because it's no longer a circular orbit. Go ahead, Josh.
It looks like both of those photos were shot in the neighborhood of just under 6 hours after TLI. So
I thought you said it was 12 hours.
No, it's so the photo of the Earth was taken at 12:27. Just the photo of the Earth, that one was taken at 12:27 p.m. And the photo from inside the capsule looking out the window was taken at 12:47 or 43 p.m. TLI happened at 7:49 p.m.
Oh, so this is 5 hours.
Yeah, okay. 5-ish hours.
5-ish hours after TLI. Okay, so we would actually have to do some math on this to figure out how much the capsule swung around the Earth in that time. I don't actually know what the orbital parameters were during the translunar injection burn.
How many times did they say they went around the Earth?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It's twice. Was it completed orbits were 2. But they did a the initial one was low Earth orbit, and then they did a highly elliptical orbit that lasted a lot longer than a traditional orbit.
But if they went around twice and you're going at 25,000 miles an hour, wouldn't you be?
If you're in a circular orbit in low Earth orbit, they weren't in a circular orbit in low Earth orbit.
Okay, all right. Wait
a minute, Josh, hold on. Did you say that the translunar injection burn was at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m.?
7:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, wait a minute. And then the other one was at 12:49 p.m. That's 17 hours.
Yep. My bad.
Okay, so this is 17 hours after the translunar injection burn. I could go look at what the trajectory looks like. I don't know off the top of my head what the trajectory looks like during the TLI.
I think NASA dropped it. NASA
probably.
Dropped it. Yes. Let's go look at that because I don't think the math is mathing.
Artemis 2 trajectory TLI. I just want like a map. This isn't quite right. Maybe with timestamps. That'd be good. Okay, none of these are particularly good. I'm just looking for something that's like kind of accurate, but they're all just kind of diagrams. So this is what we have to deal with. Let me show you. So this is roughly what the trajectory looks like. It's just kind of hard to see. So the translunar injection burn happened this way when they were going out this way, and then they're going to loop around and come back. So 5 hours after, we would just have to do the math and figure out where they were. Sorry, 17 hours after. But my guess is that they're like here. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd they both go?
I was just looking at some more EXIF information for a different photo.
Yeah, so we would be right about it. My guess, and it's hard to say, but my guess is like somewhere around here. Could be a little bit further out, but the suffice it to say, I don't think that like if we're being honest here, I don't think that you would do this kind of analysis on like any of the flat Earth claims, right? Like it's kind of like the kind of skepticism that you're offering for this like on these particular photos is a little bit suspect.
My claim is that what NASA is dropping and what the math we just did, it ain't math.
We didn't do any math. We didn't do any math.
You're saying that we're going at 25,000 miles an hour, right?
That was the initial speed during the translunar injection burn. They slow down on their way away from the Earth. So
then you slow down to what amount?
It depends on where. It depends on how far away they are. They're slowing down the whole way.
So you're saying we're going 20,000 miles an hour?
You'd have to work out the math.
That's what I'm saying. Is that you're scared to even go into the math because it's not making sense.
I would need all of the details on the trajectory, like all of the actual calculations.
That's my claim. Is my claim? But
you haven't done the math either. So how can you say that the math isn't mathing?
Because you're telling me that we can circumnavigate the entire globe in an hour. It just
at 25,000 miles an hour. Yes, that's true. The Earth's circumference is around 25,000 miles.
You can believe that, brother. I ain't believing it.
Well, sure, but you don't really have a good justification for why you're not believing
it. Have you seen what 86,000 miles looks like?
Have I seen what 8,600 miles looks like?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen something that's 8,600 miles across, if that's your question.
They made a hypersonic sled. Won't pull it up on YouTube.
You mean 8,600 miles per hour?
Yeah, miles per hour, yeah.
Yeah, so that I've seen that video. What about it?
Are you telling me we're going at 25,000 miles an hour?
Yep.
Okay. We just disagree, brother.
Disagree on what? You haven't presented any evidence that it's not moving at 25,000 miles per hour relative to the Earth.
What about like how do they not feel G-force on the inside?
You don't feel any forces if you're not accelerating.
Okay, but to get to 25,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, they had to accelerate a lot. During the launch, they were feeling 4 to 5 Gs.
How many?
The whole time.
How much?
Like 4 to 5 Gs the whole time.
The whole time getting up to 25,000 mile.
Well, so first they got into a low Earth orbit, or first they got into an orbit, and then they did a translunar injection burn, to get to like 25,000 miles an hour. So like there was a break where they were just sitting, and then they orbited twice, and then they did another burn to inject into orbit.
They actually did an interview with the astronauts after TLI, and they said it was really interesting because during TLI, things that were floating actually fell to the floor due to the acceleration.
I saw that. It was really interesting. So this is to say, like, yeah, they felt the G's.
Okay. All righty, man. Well, it was great talking to you both.
All right.
You guys the best.
Take care.
And I'll drop down and let you get back to it, Blitz.
All
Good
right.
to see you. Glad you're healthy, man.
Likewise. Thanks for being here, Josh. Take care. Always good to see Josh. See, Josh is great because there are not a lot, and not to toot my own horn, there are not a lot of things that are physics or flat Earth related that I don't know about. The one thing that I don't know a lot about, as far as like stuff that comes up in flat Earth conversations, is photography. And Josh is so knowledgeable about that stuff. So it's always great to have him on. Let's read some super chats and then we'll bring up our next guest. From Ryan Gasling with the £5, class is in session. Let's fucking go. Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, and this bothers me because they would never be so skeptical of any of the flat Earth claims, right? They would never do like this kind of like deep level analysis of like, oh, when was the timestamp? What was the ISO? Like, they would never do that. It's just because they want to confirm their own beliefs that they're doing this level of deep analysis. From Boogie the Cat with the $2, NASA is Hebrew for sponge. Wake up, sheeple. You got us. You got us there. From Binary Ghost with the $5, Earth is flat, Earth is round, all just different sides of the same cowardice coin. The courageous can face the truth that the Earth doesn't exist. True, the Earth does not exist. Very true. From Ekipo with the 5 euros. If sit there giggling to yourself high AF, of course reality wouldn't look real to you. Yeah. From Binary Ghost with the $5, there is this grand conspiracy to fake this rocket launch for some nefarious reasons, but they're going to skimp on the effects budget, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would they have shitty connections, and why would they have shitty, like, shitty CGI if they're going to, like, try to fake it? Wouldn't they try to make it believable? From Carrie Yost with the $2, how does the caller think we make it to the moon? The caller doesn't think the moon is real. From Ryan Gasling with the £2, who cares about the comments converting to flat earth? No, it's just, guests shouldn't be reading the comments during the conversation, right? All right, let us bring up our next guest. Let's talk to I Am Awesome XP. I Am Awesome, how's it going? I Am Awesome, you there? I Am Awesome. All right, moving on to the next guest. Let's talk to Trev. All right, looks like Trev's not connecting. Let's talk to Mr. Green. Mr. Green, how's it going?
Hello. Do you hear me?
I can. Mr. Green, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh, it's round. I just need to correct you on something.
Nope, not the place. Let's talk to AJ every day. Do it from the Discord. AJ, how's it going? AJ? AJ?
Not me.
Yeah, you.
Oh shit, I'm not supposed to be here. Sorry about that. I love you, Blitz.
You're good. Take care. Not me. Let's talk to Claudio. Claudio, how's it going?
Hi. Fine, thank you. You?
I'm doing all right. Claudio, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I don't think it has a shape, a specific shape.
You don't think it has a shape?
No. Yes. Because
okay.
it's
So like
we don't understand.
What do you think the topology of the Earth is?
What?
What do you think the topology of the Earth is?
It has mountains. It has.
I didn't say
oceans.
topography. I said topology.
Topology.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Do you think it's globe shaped or no?
No. No way, Jose.
Why not?
Why?
Yeah.
Because something disproves it, and
like what?
I'll tell you what.
Please.
What is the speed of the Earth at the equator?
Relative to what?
The speed of the Earth at the equator.
Relative to what?
Rotating. Rotating by itself.
Relative to what?
I told you again. Rotating by itself.
So speeds are relative.
By its axis.
So relative to what?
By its axis.
You mean so relative to its axis?
Yes.
About 1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles an hour.
Miles an hour or something. Or 20 miles an hour maybe, I don't know.
How come you feel the speed of the Earth, of the wind, and you don't feel the speed of the Earth?
Because you are on the surface of the Earth. So you feel things that are moving relative to the surface of the Earth.
You don't feel the speed of the Earth.
Well, the Earth isn't moving relative to the surface of the Earth. Or rather, the surface of the Earth is not moving relative to the surface of the Earth.
I'll stop you there. You told us again. The Earth is not moving.
Relative to the surface of the Earth.
That's all I have to say.
The surface of the Earth is not moving relative to the surface of the Earth. That's like obviously true.
Just think what I told you. Why we can't feel the speed of the wind.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, it's all a lie. You're telling me
which
a
part
lie.
what did I just say that's a lie?
Yourself.
What did I say that was a lie?
Yourself.
What did I say that's a lie?
Yourself.
Claudio, can you repeat back what I said to you, please?
The Earth is not moving relative to
Can you repeat back what I said to me? So I said the Earth. I said the surface of the Earth is not moving relative to the surface of the
Yes.
Earth.
And what is moving there?
What do you mean? What is moving?
You told me, and I
Yeah.
repeat, the surface of the Earth is not moving by itself.
No, it's not
But you
moving.
cannot
It's not.
feel it.
I didn't say that. It's not moving relative to the surface of the Earth. So look, Claudio.
For all of your
Claudio, when you are
listeners,
in a car,
I'll tell you again.
when you are in a
Why
car,
can you
Claudio,
can you
Claudio,
feel the speed of the wind?
I already answered your question. Claudio, when you were in a
No, you
car,
did not.
I did. Claudio, when you were in a car, why is it that you don't feel the car moving?
Oh, you feel the bumps in the road.
You feel
And
the
you
bumps.
cannot
That's
feel
not what I
the-
was asking
Yeah,
about.
yes, and
Why don't
cannot
you feel the car moving?
The Earth moving.
Why don't you feel the
Why?
car moving when you're in the car?
You feel the bumps on the road.
Those
And
aren't.
why
That's not
can't
the
you
car
feel
moving.
The bumps on the Earth moving.
The Earth doesn't have bumps when it's moving.
Oh no, it has.
What?
It has. Many more than you think.
The Earth
I
doesn't
just
have
disproved
bumps
you,
when it's
and
moving.
have a great
What are you
day.
talking
Bye.
about? Oh, he's running. Oh, he ran. Okay. Sad, sad guy. Not even long enough for some good content on YouTube. Bummer. All right, let's bring up another guest. I didn't kick him. He said bye, and then he left. Crafty, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Glad to hear it. Crafty, what shape do you think the Earth is?
It's the face of the Earth is flat.
There's some serious background noise. Can you...
Hey, one moment. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
sure.
one moment.
You're fine. Take your time. Oh.
So,
Okay.
I was wondering if you could go back to those pictures you were showing name.
The Artemis ones?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
The very
but-
first ones you looked up.
So you think that the Earth is flat? Yeah.
Yeah. These weren't the ones you were looking at. The ones before that, where it had them all from top to bottom. Like there was fewer pictures before. The website before this one you went to.
Oh, I think that this just takes me to, if I just go here.
Where you were
this?
scrolling like down through them. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But why is it only showing one now? It had like...
This was
I don't know,
the
like
website
10
I
of
was
them,
on the whole
maybe?
time. Oh, you mean
No,
when I
it
was on
had
NPR?
them like...
You mean when I was on NPR?
Yeah. Maybe that was
Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can go.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me pull it up. I think I was here. You mean this?
it. Yep. Okay, now
Okay.
go to the top one.
Yep.
That one, go to the top one. Look at the cloud formation and right where Africa is.
I don't.
Take
okay.
a good look at it.
Is that
and then
Africa?
go-
I don't
okay,
even know. Is that Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Africa.
Uh-huh.
Now go down to the
Uh-huh.
dark one on the bottom and
Uh-huh.
look at it.
Yeah. What about it?
It's the same, but it's so dark you can't see it. The cloud formations are the same. Look
these
at
were
the top
taken-
clouds. See that?
Wait.
See?
They are the same.
See
They
the
were
top
taken.
clouds?
They were,
Now look at the top. They are the same.
Yeah. They were taken 12 seconds apart.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Why is it
Oh,
so much
sorry.
darker?
1 minute. This is long exposure, high
Well, why is
ISO.
it-
This is low. This is short exposure, low ISO.
Well, and
They're the same. They look the same because they are the
Count
same.
me-
They just have different camera
one minute
settings.
apart.
Yeah. They look the same because they are the same. They just have different camera settings.
That's silly to me that they would use two pictures and just have those in their picture. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of silly.
Which
I
part
guess.
doesn't
Whatever.
make sense to you?
Well, thanks for having me up.
Okay. Thanks for being here.
Oh, that you would have pictures like that?
That
Like
you would
the
take
same?
pictures with different exposures? Why does that not
One
make
dark
sense?
and one light?
Yeah. Why doesn't that look sense? How does that make sense?
I think
Like,
that's silly.
what's silly about it? They look different.
I don't know. I guess you can believe what you want, you know.
Okay. Whatever you say, bud.
You can believe all that is real. It's whatever, dude.
I mean, it sounds like your evidence that it's fake is just kind of fell apart, huh?
I just have to look at it and I know it. Literally looking at it.
It's clearly fake?
I mean,
How do you know it's fake?
yeah.
You're cutting out, by the way.
Let's look at it.
Just like is just look at it a good enough argument to convince you that something's true?
I guess.
Okay, well,
Because,
just look at
common
it. It's
sense.
round. See how that's not convincing?
Yeah, but that's CGI.
Prove it.
I mean, whatever, dude. That's what I said. You can believe it if you want. It's okay.
Okay. It just seems weird that you're like willing to believe something that's as absurd as flat Earth, and then when called out on it, you're like, yeah, I just don't get it.
Bro.
Why would they do that?
Okay, I can see too far. I can't feel myself spinning.
You
The
can see
sun-
too far. Do you want to do these
Yeah.
one by one? We can do these one by one if you want.
No, it's fine. No, it's ridiculous. And then just all the stupid stuff like Apollo's on Hollywood Boulevard. They got a star because they're astronauts. It's just corny, dude. They put it all in our face. Then the father of NASA,
It's
Warner
corny.
Braun or whatever his name
Not the
is.
father of NASA. He was the director of the Apollo program. But try again.
Well, whatever. He has scriptures on his tombstone.
Yep,
Psalms
he was
19.
a Lutheran. Yeah.
I mean, it's all in our face, dude. Connect the dots, but you're obviously not going to.
I mean,
You are
it sounds like
anti-
it seems like you're obviously not going to think about these things critically. But
I have,
fine.
dude. For
Okay,
5 years.
can you explain why pendulums precess over the course of a 24-hour period?
That's dumb, dude. All of that, no.
So like science is dumb, but like
Freaking ball
but-
from a string and be like,
so
"Oh,
you're over here and you're like connecting red string to different photographs of like the tombstone of Werner von Braun and like the stars on Hollywood Boulevard. But when I tell you like actual scientific principles like the precession of a pendulum, you're like, that's dumb.
You hang on a theory.
There's nothing theoretical about what I'm talking about. Pendulums precess, Compton generators have motion, gyroscopes precess. None of these are theories.
All that bullshit falls back to gravity, man.
None of that has
So-
anything. None of that is
That
theory.
does.
And gravity.
That
By the
does.
way, if I mean gravity's not a theory either.
The Earth is a circle, a ball. You're saying the
Yep.
Earth is a ball.
Yep.
The only way that is possible is that stupid theory, gravity.
Gravity
So
is not a
there.
theory.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a phenomenon.
Google it. Google
It's a
your
phenomenon.
precious God. Use your Google God and say, is
So gravity is a phenomenon, gravity is a law, and general relativity is a theory.
your Google God?
What Google God? I know this stuff up here. I don't know if you know.
You have your computer by you. Say, is is gravity a theory? Put it in your Google. See what
Why?
it says.
I know this stuff up here.
Do it. Well, just do it.
Google it, PhD physicist. Yeah, that's a good point, Rastaman. Like I know what gravity is. I know what gravity is better than Google does.
Google it. Ask Google if it's a theory.
Ask Google if gravity is a theory. Okay, hold on. I will do that if you will ask Google if the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, well, I don't care because it's against me. Google is against
So do we
me.
trust Google or not?
Dude, no, this is exactly my point.
Okay, so you don't trust Google, but you want me to Google something.
Whatever, dude.
That's exactly what it sounds like when somebody doesn't have a response.
You have faith in your ball. You can keep it.
No, I can give you evidence of it if you want.
Yeah, some bullshit evidence.
You want me to give you evidence of it? I mean,
No, dude, don't.
no, you don't want to hear the evidence that changes your worldview.
Hey,
Understood.
listen, I used to think the Earth was a ball, just like you, dude.
Well, you weren't just like me. I can assure you of that.
Maybe I wasn't as programmed as you, obviously, because you're still.
I mean, you just weren't as educated, but yeah, that's true.
Whatever. Dude. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You think what you want of me. I don't care.
So you don't want to see the evidence that might prove you wrong?
No, because I know the truth.
Okay.
You can show me anything. Why would I lie to myself?
Well, presumably, if you're a reasonable person who critically examines the evidence in front of them, if you saw evidence that contradicted your view, you would change your position.
No, I won't. There is no evidence
You
that will
would-
change my mind at all.
Do you know what it means to be closed-minded?
You're the closed-minded one, my friend.
You just said,
why you can't
just
find
to
the
be
truth.
clear, you just said there is no evidence that would make me change my mind. Pretty sure that's what it means to be closed-minded.
I would have to go to outer space. That's not going to happen, man.
There's other ways to verify things. You don't know that, right?
Like what? Look at the moon and be like, it's round.
No,
the
you
Earth
could. No. You probably have never even heard of neutrinos, have you?
Dude, why the hell would I talk about? See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's stupid.
What are you talking about? What do you mean that's what I'm talking about? Do you know what a neutrino is?
I don't care, dude.
Okay, so you've never heard of this evidence, so why would you dismiss it outright if you've never even heard of it?
Stupid. I don't need that.
Okay, you don't need it because it'll conflict with your worldview.
I can go to the beach. The horizon is flat, level.
Oh, okay. Is it? How do you know?
Because I have eyeballs.
Ah, and so your eyeballs are, whatever your eyeballs see, that's true, right?
Yeah, I can take a picture of it.
So just a quick question. Is the moon bigger when it's near the horizon?
I don't know. It changes in angular size.
Turns out it doesn't, but it looks like it does because our eyes are deceptive. You can just get a sextant out, or you can get like a telescope out and measure the angular size, and you'll find that it doesn't change over the course of a day or over the course of a night.
Whatever, man.
The moon doesn't change in size.
We play golf on it. It's silly.
So why did you just lie to me about how the moon changes in angular size?
I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit, dude.
Clearly, you don't care about thinking at all.
Yeah, I do think. I think
apparently not.
Earth is flat. Actually, I know it is because
you've never had a serious thought in your life. I know.
No, because water seeks level.
Okay, what law of physics is that?
That's a spinning water ball. That is insane, bro.
What law of physics is that? Water seeks level.
What do you mean?
Yeah, where'd you hear that? That water seeks level.
It's known. It's
known? You know what else is known? That the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, no, only since 100 years or 500 years, stupid.
Oh, no, it's like 2,500 or 2,300 years or so, yeah.
No, it's actually not.
Yeah, have you heard of Eratosthenes?
School was 100 years ago, dude, so whatever.
I'm sorry, one more time? I didn't hear you.
They were still teaching it in schools 100 years ago.
Oh, do you have evidence of that claim, or is this just like another thing that you saw in a YouTube video?
Oh, there's videos of it. And actually, there is evidence of it if you research.
Because I can go find you a globe from 400 years ago.
Do you know how to research? You could research it yourself.
I do. Do you want me to show you a picture of a globe from 400 years ago that I took?
No. You want me to show you a Sasquatch?
No, this is a picture that I took. It's like a photograph that I took, right?
The globe? You were in space?
It's a globe. Do you know what a globe is?
Oh, okay. Like yeah, okay.
Like a person made it, and so they took a pic. So they built a globe 400 years ago, or maybe it was 300. It was 1697. So I guess it was 329 years ago.
Really, they had a silly idea 400 years ago. So.
Yeah, here you go. By the way, just in case people are interested, here's a picture of the globe from 300.
Yeah, some people
29 years ago or whatever. Why would they put continents on it?
Because some people like balls, bro.
Why would they make a globe if it wasn't an accurate picture of the world?
Because some people like balls.
Oh, okay. Do you like balls?
No.
No, you don't like balls.
No.
Gotcha.
No. No. Like what?
You hate balls because that okay, no, so I get it now.
I like my balls. I like that I have balls.
Okay, so it sounds like what you're telling me is you don't think the Earth is a globe because you're afraid it'll make you gay.
No, dude.
Oh, okay, that's what it sounded like.
Well, the Earth isn't a spinning ball, okay, and there's nothing.
And what's the evidence there?
Water.
Water. Pressure. How is that? What's the part about water that proves the Earth isn't a spinning ball?
Whales actually.
Whales prove that it's not a spinning ball. Okay, how does that work?
Well, they can talk to each other thousands of miles apart.
So why wouldn't that happen on a globe?
Curved freaking ball, bro.
Why wouldn't that happen on a globe?
Because the signals wouldn't reach each other.
Why not?
Because it's curved. What do you mean?
Why would that mean that the signals wouldn't reach each other?
Because it's curved.
How would that mean that the signals wouldn't reach each other?
Because the signals have to be in sight, dude. It has to be direct line. Like
that sounds bounce, right?
Yeah, they bounce off the curve, and they
bounce off the surface, and they bounce off of the surface, and they bounce off of the seafloor.
No, dude, you're wrong.
No, dude. I mean, you could just say you're wrong, but like this is a thing. Like even you know that this is correct. Even you know that this is true. If you shout underwater, it's not like you're going to hear it from above. It's because the sound is bouncing off of the surface of the water.
You can think what you want. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Okay.
You can think that.
I mean, you're right. I do tend to think. Quick question. Do you know what 1/2 plus 1/3 is?
No.
No?
Hey, really, thank you for having me up. I'm sorry, but I have to get going now. I'm on lunch right now, and I got to spend some time with somebody. But thanks for having me.
Take care, crafty man.
Yep, you too. See ya.
Bye-bye. Whew. That was rough. All right, let us read some super chats and then we'll move on to our next guest. We have... God, the AC is really kicking it. Kind of cold. From Earth is Life with the $5. All the footage from space is fake, except when Earth looks flat, then it becomes real. True. Very good point. From Binary Ghosts with the $5, the Earth rotates west to east. This is why I always strive to live east of places I need to frequent so that travel time to them is reduced. If only that's how the Earth actually worked. From It's Char Not Char with the $2, it's fake. My wounded ego says so. Typical. Yeah, he wasn't really interested in actually like having any sort of, or examining the evidence critically. It seems like he was kind of emotionally invested in it. From Jim Daniels with the $5, Artemis is the twin sister to Apollo. Well played, NASA, well played. Yeah, no, it is cute, isn't it? And from the J Pump with the $2, I wish these callers could feel shame, if only. But instead they feel confidence. From Carrie Yost with the $2, he put the ignore in ignorance. Yeah. From Vanilla Milk Bread with the $5, Blitz must feel like an elementary school teacher at times when talking to some of these callers. Yeah, I do. I do quite a lot. From Binary Ghost with the $5, the world's leaders and institutions have been lying to us about the Earth being round because they just like balls. Truly, this is the gay agenda. That's it. It's it. We found the answer, everybody. We did it. We got there. It's the gay agenda. The Earth is not round. It's because of the gay agenda. They're trying to teach us to like balls. Mad Cow, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Mad Cow, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I believe it's flat, but I don't know that. I want you to convince me otherwise, and I'm not trolling you. I really want you to convince me otherwise.
Yeah. So
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So I only saw this on a YouTube video. I'll be upfront with that. And it was they were able to see something so far away that it should be beyond, beyond the curve. You shouldn't be able to see it. And they were using infrared. So does infrared?
Yeah. So I know what video you're talking about. This is from like an airplane, right?
Was something about a mountain range, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they just weren't correctly identifying the mountain range.
Okay.
They assumed it was some distant mountain range, but there was a closer one relative to where they were that could have been the one that they were seeing.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that because you researched it and I didn't.
So there's a really good piece of evidence. It takes a little bit to get there, but it's actually like pretty killer. I have some explaining to do, but hopefully this will be convincing to you. So
yeah, listen.
So there's a particle called a neutrino, right? It's like a subatomic particle. You know how there's like electrons and protons and stuff. There's neutrinos too. Neutrinos are really, really good for these kinds of experiments, figuring out like what shape the Earth is, because they don't really do much at all. They don't refract at all. They don't really bounce off of anything at all. They just basically go in a straight line until they hit something and then they disappear. That's basically all they do. So what you can do with neutrinos, and this wasn't the intention of the experiment, but what you can do with neutrinos is you can basically generate a beam of neutrinos over here and then point them at a detector, which basically is just a place where the neutrinos smack into it, and then you can see the light that bumps off and you can see where they were coming from downrange. And then using that path, you can figure out what shape the Earth is. So clearly, if the Earth was flat and you had the emitter on the surface and the detector on the surface, you would just point the neutrinos straight across the surface, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no refraction. And if the Earth was curved, what you would have to do is even if they were both on the surface, you would have to point the neutrinos slightly down into the ground so that it goes underground and then comes up on the other side. And I can show you a diagram for that if you'd like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this experiment was basically like, this experiment was done. It was done, and I mean, it's still like, the experimental apparatuses still exist, and you know, this kind of setup is used to do serious particle physics experiments. And what you find is that in order for the neutrino emitter to hit the neutrino detector, both of which they're separated by like 700 kilometers or like 450 miles or something like this, they have to aim the neutrinos down into the ground at a 3-degree angle. And then when they pick them up on the other side with the detector, they pick them up coming up from below them. And the only way that that makes sense, there's kind of only two options. One is that the Earth is curved, and that they're going through the curve of the Earth. The other option is that the neutrinos are somehow going down and then bending up if the Earth is flat. And we already know that neutrinos don't bend. So it seems like the only remaining option is that the Earth is curved and the neutrinos are basically passing through the curve of the Earth. And I can show you a diagram if that would help.
Yeah, show me the diagram. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Actually, I have a friend
I
who
know
might...
about neutrinos. Like it's like they have to hit something. What do they have to hit?
It's called a scintillator. Yeah. A scintillator is like the kind of experiment, or the kind of object. Oh yeah, my friend did do this. This is killer. So here is a Desmos thing. So here you have the neutrino beam.
Yes.
So see how it's pointed down a little bit? The red line is the beam.
Uh-huh.
So it's pointed down into the ground because there's a curve of the Earth in the way. And so then it is picked up by the detector far away. So see how it would be coming up from so this dotted line would be like the surface. It would be coming up from the surface or from below. So that's what it would look like on the globe. And you can see that if I zoom out, it is a globe. It's a circle rather. Whereas we can pull up, and I hope my friend did this, we can pull up a flat diagram, and we can see that you start off with your neutrino beam. If you want it to hit the detector...
Hey, is the curve right? Is the curve...
Here we're assuming that it's flat. This angle would be essentially 0, because it has to drop by... So this angle here.
Is the amount of curve correct?
Yeah, it is.
What you would... like the 6 inches squared or whatever, you know.
So it's 1 degree every 69 miles.
Okay.
And so yeah, I mean, like the actual amount of curvature does match the observations here. So this does work, and I can show you the diagram from the official experimental apparatus. Let me just see if I can find it.
So why do they use the flat Earth model when they do the aviation navigations and stuff like that?
Well, they don't anymore, but back in the 80s when our computing power was weaker, they did, because it made the math easier. And so if you were going to do simulations, if you don't have very strong computers, you need easier math, which kind of makes sense, right? Like you need easy math.
It's simple, but it works.
Yeah, it's simple and it's good enough, at least for most things. If you're just simulating how the wind moves over the airplane, it doesn't really matter what's below it. So you can assume that the Earth is flat and it'll be the same, the wind will be the same. But nowadays, in fact, there's a more modern version of that same, there's one from 1986. I think it's 1986. There's a more modern version from the, here's a flight manual, for example, from 2011 from the FAA that mentions, sorry, let me make sure that I pull it up. It's section 1.2. That mentions the shape of the Earth, so I can show you this too.
Yeah,
yes.
show me that.
So this is the Flight Navigator Handbook from 2011. This is the Federal Aviation Administration. And if we just go to the table of contents, we can go look at section 1.2 or 1-2. Shape and size, the Earth. For most navigational purposes, the Earth is assumed to be a perfect sphere, although in reality it is not. Inspection of the Earth's crust reveals that there's a height variation of approximately 12 miles from the top of the tallest mountain to the bottom of the deepest point of the ocean. More significant deviation from round is caused by a combination of the Earth's rotation and its structural flexibility. When taking the ellipsoidal shape of the planet into account, mountains seem rather insignificant. So like, it goes into the actual details. Measured at the equator, the Earth is approximately 6,378,137 meters in diameter. These are all things about spheres, right? Or near spheres. It's not a perfect sphere, but it's close. So, I mean, like, this is from the Federal Aviation Commission, or Aviation Administration. So, you know. Also, the other thing that's worth noting is that 1988 linear aircraft model. I think that this is what you're referring to if you've seen it. Is it this thing?
Yeah, where it says flat Earth or flat. So that's non-rotating plane is assumed. It says.
Yeah. So this is the very first sentence. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. So again, a model is like a mathematical thing. It's a model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat non-rotating Earth. Now, sure, that is what the first sentence says. Let me go show you something in that same document. I think it's page 25. Yeah. Okay, it's page 25. We go to page 25. And we see that it mentions gravity at sea level, right? Yeah. So you can't really have it both ways. You can't have it that the Earth is flat and also have gravity. The other thing is that in that very first sentence, it says other things that are not true either. It says that aircraft are rigid. Aircraft aren't rigid, their wings flex. It says that aircraft have constant velocity, or sorry, constant mass, which they don't because they use fuel, so their mass decreases over time. So this is a simplification, right? They're making simplifying assumptions.
Exactly. Okay. All right.
So I mean, yeah, a lot of this stuff is and you can go look. The math becomes like, it's complicated, but it's easier here than if you were to assume that it's a spherical Earth. It just makes the math a lot messier.
I think the neutrinos got it for me because like they didn't even put some of those neutrino detectors down in Antarctica.
There are neutrinos detectors down in Antarctica as well. Yeah, definitely. It's called the Ice Cube experiment. I have a video on it. It's really neat. But and in fact, it's a cool thing to mention because you can so the major source of neutrinos from space comes from the sun, right? The sun emits basically almost all of the neutrinos that we see. And so the neutrino detector in Antarctica, you can basically look at where the sun is, and you will see that that's the direction that the neutrinos you detect are coming from. And you can track that throughout a day, and you'll find that as the sun goes lower and lower, and it takes a long time because it's Antarctica, it's not like higher latitudes, but as the sun gets lower in the sky, the neutrinos still point towards the sun. And in fact, when the sun is on the other side of the Earth, you can see the neutrinos from below.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, like you can see them from below the Earth, right? Which is really neat. So it's definitely something to think about. Any other questions you got for me, Mad Cow?
No, I don't. Thanks.
All right, thanks for being here, bud. Take care. What a good faith person. Oh, the sun neutrino image is from Super K. I'm sorry, not Ice Cube. I got that wrong. You're right. Although Ice Cube could do the same thing, but you're right. I do have it from Super K. I do have it in my God, there's so many neutrino experiments. Yeah, the relevant it's Super Kamiokande. The relevant paper with the solar neutrino thing from below is here. And I'll have to just let me hide my screen while I go seek out this paper. But I'll pull it up for you guys really quick, just because it's really cool to see. Ice Cube does do neutrino experiments, not the rapper, the collaboration, but Super Kamiokande in Japan is where they did the solar neutrino thing. So here we have solar neutrino measurements in Super Kamiokande 4. So if we scroll down, and where's the diagram? Where is it? There's a really nice diagram that I remember is somewhere in here. I should probably have labeled the diagram. I mean, one of the pieces that I already showed is, so, I mean, here's a piece of data that points to that. So this is the events per day for the per day per kiloton per bin. This diagram on the left on the left here. And what you can see is that the cosine of the angle of the events that they detect over here, this peaks at when the cosine of the angle of the sun is 1. It's when the cosine is 1, and that's when the cosine of the angle is 0 degrees, because cosine of 0 degrees is 1, right? And so they're detecting it where the sun is, and I'd have to go look for the diagram where they track it throughout the day. But there is somewhere in this paper it does it, and I'd have to go find it again. Anyway, let's read some super chats, and we'll bring on our next guest. From Ryan Gasling with the £5. Curious if the stubborn relative caller knows that negative things can happen when you marry relatives to your relatives. And no offense intended. Yeah, they probably do. They probably do. From Orion Cooper with the $2. Artemis is 36 minutes from beating Apollo distance record. Oh, that's a big deal. That's enormous. This one has the image. Yeah, but I thought that I could have sworn that there was one with the graph. Anyway, from Cosmic Legion with the $5. Also, the website you can see the mission tracking is called AROW. Someone at NASA is having fun with acronyms. Oh, that's fun. Arrow. I get it. I get it. From Nathan Rapert that's a Rappert maybe with the $5. I hear the claim vacuums require a container. What is the counter to Earth being in an enclosed system? Well, vacuums don't require a physical barrier. You can contain a gas in a whole bunch of different ways, with magnets, with gravity. A whole bunch of ways to do it. Let us bring up our next guest. Oh, is this the document? I'll look at it later. Let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to Luis. Luis, how's it going?
Hey man, good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Luis, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I'm like the last guest where I used to believe for sure it was round just because it was what I've had been taught since I've, been in grade school. But recently, just all these videos and all these things have gotten me to seriously doubt things. And now I'm like I'm on the fence. I really don't know, and I'm more confused than ever. I was wondering if there's, for people that, are not nearly as smart as you, and in layman's terms, if there's any type of example that you could give. I just heard your theory, but before that you gave the last guy as well. But in all these other videos that I see for flat earthers, they give examples about things that you could kind of just logically, and quotation marks, I'll say, just think about. They make it seem like, you're dumb if you don't think that the Earth is flat. And then when I think about what they're saying, I'm like, well, that makes sense. Is there something that you could say kind of like that would just be like, hey, doesn't this just make sense? Like, wouldn't you just think because of this, it makes sense that it's round? So
the first thing to do is look, and before we actually get into the point that you're asking for, there's a weird thing that happens where you have generally it's the case that scientists are not very good at communicating. Like, a scientist's job is to be a scientist. Their job isn't to do PR. Their job isn't to, make videos. So you'll have people who are good at making convincing videos that aren't necessarily scientists. That's generally the case for most people who make videos on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. And yet the claim is somehow these random people on YouTube, these random people on TikTok, somehow they figured out something that the world's scientists still don't understand. Like, if it's so obvious, why don't the world's scientists get it? And so what you should really think about, and I'll give you some evidence in a minute, but this is just something to kind of prime your brain, is that there's there are no physicists alive. There are no geologists alive who think that the Earth is flat, right? There's not a single one. So it can very well be the case that you might hear something that sounds convincing, but then you have to think, okay, If this sounds convincing to me, why isn't this convincing to the world's physicists, the world's geologists? Like, why isn't it? And if it's not convincing to them, and keep in mind it's not, because there are no flat earther physicists, no flat earther geologists, then it should really make you think like maybe there's something that I'm missing, or maybe they're misrepresenting something. Just because, like, it's not even just because like scientists are smarter than you or whatever. It's because like there's tens of thousands of scientists who do this for their day job, who like study the earth and study the study geometry and all these things for their day job. You'd think that at least one of them would have caught on, right? But they didn't. So like something that should make you at least a little suspicious, right? But you asked for like some piece of obvious evidence. Probably in my view the most obvious piece of evidence is I'll start with one that's super simple. It's just sunsets, sunrises, right? When we see the sun during a sunset or a sunrise, it just goes like this, right? It just gets lower in the sky. Maybe it changes color, but it just gets lower in the sky. However, in order for this to make sense on a flat Earth, you need the sun to just be getting further away, right? But when we look during a sunset, it's not like it's just a round thing that gets further and further away and gets smaller and smaller and dimmer. It just looks like it's getting cut off from the bottom up, right?
Right.
And that doesn't make sense on a flat Earth. There's no flat earther that will be able to make sense of that for you. They'll say words like, "Oh, well, what if you account for the angular resolution of the human eye, and what if you account for the Rayleigh criteria?" Like, none of that actually works. They're basically trying to jargon blast you to try to make sense of this thing that obviously doesn't work on a flat Earth. The other thing that's a little bit trickier, but it's still very, very easy, and I don't think that you'll have any trouble understanding it, is the bottom of is again, it's a thing that has to do with sunsets. But this is I can just show you a picture.
Okay.
So here's a picture of a sunset from an airplane, right? So the sun is already kind of dipped below the clouds. And what you can tell from this picture is that the bottom of the clouds are lit up by like this reddish light, and the top of the clouds are dark, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And similarly, let me show you another picture. Here's a picture from below. You have the bottom of the clouds are lit up by this reddish light, and the top of the clouds are dark, right?
So that means that the Earth is okay.
Right. So if the Earth was flat, what that would mean is somehow the sun was lower than the clouds. Because how is it that the top would be dark and the bottom would be bright if the sun wasn't lower than the clouds? And if the sun was lower than the clouds, then planes could fly into it, because planes can fly higher than the clouds, right? But planes don't fly into the sun. The sun isn't only a few miles up. The sun is, very, very far away. There's no plane that can reach the sun. Like, so obviously the sun can't be lower than the clouds. And the only way that you can make sense of the sun being higher than the clouds, the sun not being like within the clouds, but still illuminating the bottom, is if the Earth was a sphere, and the part that the clouds were being illuminated by was kind of rotating away, so that the bottom was exposed to the sun, but the top wasn't.
Okay. No, I definitely get that one. Okay, yeah. I mean, the biggest one that has gotten me.
By the way, I just want to pull up. I saw a good diagram for this particular case, but I can't find it off the top of my head. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the biggest thing that made me question it was, I mean, you kind of debunked it already, but on this last video too, that you showed that the aviation doesn't actually assume a flat Earth. But then, they always bring up, I see that there's some sort of plane that can go up to 2,200 miles per hour.
A plane? No, not a plane. Oh, 2,200. I'm sorry. Yes, a plane. It's the SR-71.
Yeah, that can go 2,200 miles per hour, and that they don't account for curvature when they're flying it, that they don't like point the nose down. And if that would be the case, then it would just like fly off into space if the Earth was round. So that one also made me think like, well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. How could that be?
This is one of those things that like intuitively you would think that yeah, that you're right. That is a little confusing. But then realize that, you know, like regular jet airliners, like 737s or whatever, 747s, they don't fly level. So like if the Earth was flat and it was true that you had to point your nose in the direction you wanted to go in, and so you'd have to point your nose down to go around the surface of the Earth, the curve of the Earth, then you would think that the planes would have to fly level, but they don't. They fly tilted upwards at like a 3-degree angle. And so if they fly upwards, if they're tilted upwards at a 3-degree angle and the Earth is flat, why don't they just fly off into space? Well, it's because that's not how planes work, right? Planes don't fly in they don't necessarily anyway fly in the direction that their nose is tilted in. In particular, airplanes have something called a center of lift and a center of mass. So the center of mass is basically like kind of the average place. It's like where you could balance it on your finger if you were strong enough. And the center of lift is like the average location of where all of the lift forces are. And by engineering a plane correctly, you can make it so that a plane can fly level without even touching the controls. It'll maintain its altitude. Basically, you can make it so that if it gets too high, it'll start to nose down, and if it gets too low, it'll start to nose up, and so it'll oscillate around an altitude. This is there's a name for this kind of oscillation. But anyway, this is all to say, if the Earth is curved and they were flying level instead of pointing down, then if it were the case that they got too high, because of this aerodynamic effect, they would tilt down. And then if they got too low, they would tilt back up. And if they got too, and so they would just naturally follow the curvature of the Earth. This is just like because planes are well designed, basically. And the SR-71 is no exception. There's actually like a neat simulation that somebody did to show that this happens. The simulation doesn't include any like autopilot or anything. It just shows how the plane kind of like does this wiggling motion, even on a curved surface, and you can see it happening. Let me just like, we don't have to watch it for very long, but I just want to show you just because it's kind of neat.
Thank you.
Here it is. So here's the you know, the website or the page is called How Airplanes Follow the Curvature of the Earth Physics Simulation. So this is just a physics simulation. There's nothing sneaky under the hood. You can see all of the data. I want to turn off pitch damping, which kind of damps this thing, so it just kind of like follows a curve, or not follows a curve. So just like, instead of oscillating, it just kind of like follows the shape of the ground. And I'm going to speed up time a lot.
Okay.
So and I'm also going to make the Earth smaller. Oops. So I made the Earth smaller, and now it's oscillating up and down. But see how it's like kind of going like this?
Right.
But that's just because the center of lift is behind the center of mass, and because of the direction of the thrust and the direction of the drag, right? So that's just a natural thing that planes do. Now you can add some extra controls so that it doesn't do that all the time, and that's like, it's not quite autopilot. It's called pitch damping, and it basically kind of like makes it's not some sort of built-in follow the curve. It just kind of it's a negative feedback, so it kind of does away with these big oscillations. But you can see that it's still just following it without any user input, and that's just the aerodynamics of a plane.
Gotcha. And last question, because you're very knowledgeable, and I'm just curious, and I'll let somebody else get up here. The firmament, do you think it's something like, how do you like best explain the firmament, or is a firmament something that you don't?
It's made up.
You don't think
it's not real?
Is
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, nobody's ever provided any evidence that it's like a real thing, right?
It's not even like, there's not even another word for it or anything like that.
I mean, like in the Bible, the word firmament is often used to also translated as like the heavens, or you know, or the vault of the sky. It's just like the thing that looks like the dome of, because like when you look around, it looks like there's like a big dome around you, right? Because like you see in 360 degrees, and like you can look up and there's blue, and then you can look to the side and there's blue. It looks like we're in a snow globe. So that's just what the word just refers to, like that look, but it's not real. It's not like a real thing. There's not like a barrier anywhere.
It's not like an actual solid thing. Okay.
Or anything at all. I mean, like, think about it this way. If there were a firmament, it would have to connect somewhere, like in Antarctica. But you can just go to Antarctica and you don't see like some solid barrier connecting into the ground.
So we can go to all parts of Antarctica. I also was
Yeah.
told by these videos that there's
So-
parts that they don't allow us
So
to go to.
there's a few small parts, like, and I say small, like these are like individual, like they're village sized or smaller. Antarctica is a really big continent, right? There's like a few like small areas, like maybe a few square miles across, that you can't go to because these are like either privately owned or they are, you know, government facilities or whatever. But yeah, the vast majority of Antarctica you can visit with no issues. In fact, you can even go to the South Pole proper, if you want to. And you know, it's not that safe. It's really cold, and there's not really nobody's going to rescue you, but you can do it.
Gotcha. And if you don't mind, one last one I just
Sure.
thought of. Also, for emergency landings, I've
Mhm.
also been told that that's also a big example on how the Earth could be flat. Like, for example, when Argentina won the World Cup and they were in, oh man, I forgot which part of Europe, and then they were going to Argentina, which in no way they would have to have gone over Rome, even with the flight patterns. And then when they had to emerge.
Wait, were they were flying direct from where to where?
I think it was Gaza. Dang, I don't have the information in front of me, but how they explained it was
Argentina
even
won
with
the World Series. So this is the World Series, right?
when they won the World Cup last time, they were going back to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And
So
they
it
had
was
to
in
emergency
Qatar. It
land.
was in Qatar.
It was in Qatar. They were
Okay.
somewhere around Qatar, and then they had to emergency land in Rome. And then they were saying
so they were going from Qatar to
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay, and they were flying direct.
I don't know those details, but they were just showing how if they had to emergency, they were going from there to Buenos Aires, and they had to emergency land, and when they emergency landed, they ended up in Rome. So they were showing how if the Earth was a globe, there would be no reason for that, even with flight patterns, on why they would have to have landed there.
So I'm looking for this claim. So flat earthers like to say that flights, okay, for example, they complain about the Argentinian football team flying from Doha to Buenos Aires via Rome, but on a globe, that's only a slight detour, or they complain about a flight from Taipei to Los Angeles. Okay, so let's look. So, and I'm just going to complete the, okay, let me show you something. So here's Google Earth.
Right.
Okay, so here's Doha, or Qatar, somewhere here, and here's Buenos Aires. It's over here.
Right.
Right there. Right. Okay, so that distance is 13,292 kilometers. Right. Now, so let's write that down.
13,000 kilometers.
13,292 kilometers. That's direct. Now I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to see how much extra distance do you get traveling from Qatar to Rome to Buenos Aires. How much extra distance you're traveling. Okay, so now we have 15,091 kilometers. So 15,091 kilometers. So it is a detour, but it's not that big of a detour, right? Here's the direct route, and then here's the route that takes you to Rome. So I don't know. It's not that much of a big detour. It's like an extra 1,000 miles, which is, you know, or an extra 1,000 kilometers, which is like an extra hour of flight. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem too far-fetched. Also, I'm not even sure. Like, I haven't even seen. Like, maybe I'm sure it did happen, but like I can't find any example of like the like some emergency landing happening.
Again, this was all based off of a video, so I could have.
Okay. So look, I'm looking on the AI overview. We can look at the AI overview together. Who knows if it's true, but we'll just read it and see what it says. The incident. After winning the World Cup, the Argentina team flew from Qatar to Buenos Aires with a fueling stop at Rome. This is a planned technical refueling stop, not an emergency landing, and it took place in December 22, not recently. So it wasn't an emergency landing. They were just hitting up Rome to refuel, I guess. At least according to the AI overview, which is getting its source from Facebook. But I actually can't find any other sources for this aside from Facebook anyway, so it's not clear this is like well documented anyway. There's other examples, by the way. People will talk about flying from Beijing to Los Angeles and why they had to do an emergency stop in Alaska. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a bunch of them. Yeah, so that one, what would you think?
So so this was an actual emergency stop. So here we have Beijing. Here we have Beijing. And again, the reason I'm showing you this on a globe is to just show you that it doesn't make that little sense on a globe, right? So here we have Los Angeles, and it may have actually been Texas, but we can just put Los Angeles anyway because it's not that big of a difference. So if we look at the flight route, this is a straight line connecting Beijing to Los Angeles. See how it's like a straight line? If we just go look at where it passes over, it passes right next to Alaska, right? So it's actually not that far-fetched to think that they would do an emergency landing in, say, Anchorage. It's just because the Earth is a globe that it passes over if it ends up flying north. So like these kinds of things generally are pretty easily accounted for if you actually just plot them on a globe rather than plotting them on a flat map.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Blitz. I appreciate your time. I'll let somebody else get up here, but you've answered a lot for me. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for being here, Luis. Take care. What a good faith chap. All right, let's read some super chats, then we'll bring on our next guest. From Binary Ghost with the $5. Maybe they expect space to be actively sucking on things like a house vacuum, and that's how they get confused about all that. That's exactly what happens, right? That's exactly what happens. They think that it's like a vacuum cleaner. From Curtis Martin with the $50. Thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate that a lot. It's very, very kind and generous of you. You look beautiful too. By the way, I should remind you guys, so this webpage that you've seen me popping up to pull things up, like this webpage, this Google document, these are my notes that I use for various debates. They have a whole bunch of sources and explanations and things like that, especially for flat Earth. I also have some for theism. I have some stuff for young Earth and so on and so forth. This stuff is available to you, but in order to, encourage you guys, encourage support, I do lock this behind like a $4 or $5 a month paywall. So if you become a member on YouTube, which is like $4 or $5 a month or something, you can get access to this Google Doc, which if you're having these debates in person or if you're having them online, this Google Doc might be helpful for you. So consider it. Obviously no obligation, but it's it's a way to help generate some income for me for the effort that I put in to make these do these live streams. So consider it. It's obviously no obligation, but if you want to, by all means. Otherwise, you can just watch and you can pick up the stuff that I say anyway. From Pat in the chat with the $10, very, very generous. Dear Artemis deniers and FLERFS, NASA has no obligation to placate idiots. Stop asking for things from them to prove to you what's already known. Earthrise is more than enough. Glad you're back, Blitz. I'm glad I'm back too. I appreciate it. And yeah, like NASA's not working for you. They're not working for the flat earthers. They're working for the normies. From Binary Ghost with the $5, soon I will privately own all of Antarctica. Then no one can go there. The pyramids under all the ice will be all mine. The Shoggoth will work for me. True. That's how you do it. From Allied Master Computer with the $2, you're all wrong. The universe revolves around me. No, it revolves around me. Get it right. YouTube says it's $6.99 for me. It shouldn't say $6.99. I've set it for, it's $3.99 on the @BlitzPhD channel and $4.99 on the @DrBlitzDebunks channel. And the only reason they're different, by the way, is because I forgot what I had it set to on the @BlitzPhD channel when I was making the @DrBlitzDebunks channel. And I accidentally set it at $5. And once you set it at something, you can't change it. So that's why they're different. So honestly, the better value is to subscribe on the @BlitzPhD channel. It's a better value. All of the perks are identical. You get everything the same, all of the same emojis. The only downside is that you can only use those emojis in the vertical live stream rather than the horizontal ones. But yeah, otherwise it's completely identical. All right, let's bring up our next guest. All right, somebody's begging to come up, so we may as well bring them up. Let's bring up Otz Moose.
Hello, hello.
Otz Moose, you've been begging to come up. I imagine that you have something important to say.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going?
Well, great, excellent.
Glad to hear it. Otz Moose, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Globe.
Okay, well then why'd you come up?
Well, I had a different disagreement with you before, and I figured I might as well come up.
Oh, okay, well, but today is a flat Earth day, so I'm gonna let you go. I was expecting a crash out too, but I guess not. Let's talk to Teacher. With a name like Teacher. Teacher, how's it going?
Yo. Hey, what's up? I just want to start with this, bro. My English not very good, bro. I just want to get that out the way.
Okay, Teacher, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's frequency and vibration.
That doesn't sound like a shape.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is like flat Earth is a lie and so is round Earth. What they're trying to hide is that it's frequency. You get what I mean?
No, I have no idea what you mean.
So
the Earth is a physical thing, right?
Nah, it's something they do with everything. It's like
so the Earth is not a physical thing? Quick question,
Nah.
just to clarify. Help me out. What's 1/2 plus 1/3?
Damn, bro, I got no idea, bro. But
ooh, but I need help with my homework.
You're either atheist or religious. You're either flat Earth or round Earth. You're either vegan or you're carnivore. Like they never give you an option in between. It's a known manipulation tactic, bro. You know what I mean, bro?
No, I have no idea what you mean. So, are you interested in like figuring out what shape the Earth is, or no?
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to talk to you, bro. I've been waiting for like half an hour, bro.
How do you make sense of sunsets?
I'm not worried about that, low key. I'm not worried about that, bro. I've never really looked into it.
Are you particularly worried about like getting caught at CVS when you buy like Sudafed?
Man, I got no idea what's this CVS, bro.
Okay, just checking.
But anyway, shit, what was I saying?
Who knows, man?
But anyway, bro.
All right, anyway, bro. So like, what do you make of the fact that the sunset goes down at night instead of going away?
I think it's just our point of view, bro. Like we can't see all that far.
So why does the sun go down, bro? Why doesn't it just get far away?
It don't go down, bro. It looks like it's going down, but it's not going down, bro.
Bro, what do you mean? What do you mean? It looks like it just looks like it's going down. You've seen a sunset. Don't lie to me, bro.
I be seeing them time to time, bro. But like, it be going further away, bro, not down.
What do you mean? They're going further away, not down. Here, let me show you. It going down. Here's a sunset. Looks like it's going down to me. What's that? What's that? It's going down? Why is it? Where's the bottom half? Where's the bottom half, bro? Where's the bottom half of the sun?
Bro, I keep remembering what I'm trying to say, but then you start talking again and I forget what I'm trying to say. So can you please be quiet for like 5 seconds, bro? I'm sorry.
Yeah, try to remember. Go ahead, I'll give you some time.
Yeah, so like, to be able to accept something like this, you gotta accept everything else as a lie, too. Like,
you mean, but this is what the sun looks like. I've seen a sunset before. This is what the sun looks like. Are you telling me to reject what my eyes say?
Man. What I'm saying, bro, is I'm not really into that. Like, I'm not into that shit, bro. Like,
you're not into looking at the sunsets? Man, come on. Look at the sunsets. They're beautiful.
Alright, but like, what I'm saying, bro, is if these, like, from this perspective of them lying about the shape of the Earth.
Who's lying about? Bro, are we lying about sunsets? Like, it's just a sunset, dude. Look, the sunset. It's a sunset. You've seen this before.
Yeah.
What's going on? Is it getting further away or is it getting lower?
You're right. You're right, bro.
So then why is it getting lower? Oh, no, no, that's CGI.
Yeah, shit, bro. Hell no, man.
Why is it getting lower?
Alright, so anyway, bro. Bro, stop talking, bro. I'm forgetting what I'm trying to say, bro. You keep talking about some sunset, bro. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get you to think.
Man,
think with your brain.
But you're talking about some sunset every 2 seconds, bro. Just
I know. I'm asking you, how does the sunset work?
Man, anyway, bro. So if they have all of this, wait, are you up to date with all your vaccines and shit?
I don't know.
Are you up to date with your vaccines?
I don't know.
Are you religious?
No. I don't believe in organized religion, man.
So, but are you up to date with your vaccines or not,
I don't know. I don't know when I'm supposed to get vaccines.
Have you taken vaccines?
Like a few years ago.
COVID?
Yeah, like 5 years ago.
Damn, bro, of course, bro. Like, the same things that got you to take those vaccines, bro. They the same things lying about everything, bro.
But did you take your lithium?
I don't take vaccines, bro.
Lithium's not a vaccine, bro.
Man, what?
You didn't take your lithium, did you?
What are you talking about, bro? First talking about some sunset, now, man. But let me think of something, bro. I'm gonna get you, bro. Hold on.
Okay, you're gonna get me. Okay, go on and get me.
Yeah. Let me think. I'm gonna get you, bro. Hold on.
All right. Go on, get me.
Um biscuit, biscuit. Alright, so what I think is, so they always put out 2 options, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, because I haven't explained yet, bro. So the first option is the more mainstream one, right? And this example, let's say, what's it called? Round Earth, right? So they put that out in the open, right?
Yeah.
Not people gonna believe in that because they stupid, right?
Teacher, I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk, but give me just 1 sec, okay?
I got you, bro.
All right. We can only do so much of that. Like what did he come on to do? What was he here for? What? Why? What are we doing? All right, let's talk to native apparel. Native apparel, how's it going?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Native apparel, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Flat.
Okay, why so?
Well, because first of all, I couldn't think any other it being any other shape because there's no proof of. First of all, there's no proof of this spin.
You sure?
Can you show me proof?
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah. Probably the easiest proof that I can just go find you a time lapse of this is a Foucault pendulum processing.
No. What I mean is proof, like the not using objects. I want proof of the spinning ball. Like since you guys.
This is proof of the spinning ball.
Let me see.
Here, I'm going to show you a timestamp really quick, or it's a time lapse. Here you go. So here we have, so this is a pendulum, right? A pendulum, it just swings back and forth. And what he's going to do is yeah. So what he's going to do is he has a clock here. Let me make this a little bit smaller so that you can see more of it. It's just swinging back and forth, and he's taking a picture every time it gets to the every time it gets to one part, and you can see it going around in a circle. So why does it do that?
I have no idea why it does that.
It does that. It's called
pendulum.
It's called I think it's called L'Amour precession.
I know that this is happening on a flat Earth, that stationary Earth, we're not moving.
I mean, this has happened, like, either the Earth is flat and there's just some magic that's making it go in a circle, or the Earth is a sphere and there's no magic required to make it go in a circle because the Earth is spinning underneath it.
Second.
So that's like a piece of evidence that the Earth is spinning, right? So I mean, it's not like it's not like there's no proof. There's definitely proof. I just showed it to you.
That's not proof to me.
Well, what counts as proof to you?
That spinning, yeah, you explained it, but it's not. It doesn't prove that the Earth is spinning.
What does it? So what would count as proof for you then? Because this is, I mean, like, look, the way that we do science is we have a hypothesis, we use that hypothesis to make a prediction, and then we check whether that prediction is true by running an experiment. So the hypothesis here is that the Earth is a sphere and that it's spinning. The prediction is that if the Earth is a spinning sphere, then a swinging pendulum should go around in a circle as it swings back and forth. It should basically change direction very, very slowly as it's swinging back and forth. And then you go and you run the experiment and you find exactly that's what happens. So, I mean, like, that's the scientific method right there. Is there some other kind of evidence that you'd like to see?
Yeah, about the spinning ball?
Yeah, like, what else do you need? What else do you need for the spinning ball? For it spinning?
Something more. Is that all you got, though? Is that it?
No, I mean, there's also gyroscopic precession. There's the Compton generator. These are the three classical ways that we can measure the rotation rate of the globe.
I don't think you're getting what I'm asking for.
You're right. I'm not.
I don't know how to explain it either. Sorry. But also, let me change the subject real quick. Gravity.
Yeah, what about it?
Where's proof of that?
What kind of proof would you accept? It's been proven since like the 1780s, I think. But I can show you all sorts of experiments that show that gravity exists. The best experiment, or the most...
Before I forget, real quick, let me mention real quick, and then you could go back. You also mentioned that you talk about the ice or Antarctica like you know for sure. How do you know? There's continents that we don't even know about that they're not telling us about. So how do you know that?
Wait, why do you think that there are continents that we've... Why do you think that there are continents we don't know about?
You make it sound like you're so sure about this.
Well, yeah,
like you know for sure.
I've spoken with people. I've spoken with people who have been there.
Yeah, been there, but then they didn't go through the whole thing. No, I'm pretty sure about that.
What do you mean they didn't? What do you mean they didn't go through the whole thing? They went to Antarctica.
Scientists, they don't know.
What are you talking about? They went to Antarctica.
They went to Antarctica. You think Antarctica is just like going to Phoenix? No.
It's a continent, right?
Huge.
They were, yeah, it's a big continent. They were in a particular place in Antarctica. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what other...
I mean, I'm just saying that you don't, you talk like you know, like
yeah,
you know everything about, you don't.
I never made the claim I know everything, but I do know that Antarctica exists.
Yeah, I don't know everything either, but I do know a lot. And that, to me, you can't. You can
just go there. You can just buy. You can just buy a ticket.
Sit there and talk and say that you know this and this and that. People believe that, just like the brainwashing thing. This spinning ball is a.
So Native Apparel. Hold on, Native Apparel. Have you been to Australia?
It's just ridiculous. No, I haven't.
So how do you know Australia exists?
I don't.
Okay, so you'd be confident in saying, yeah, you don't know that Australia exists? Have you been to Europe?
Yeah. sure. Just like I haven't seen Trump. I don't know.
Have you been to Europe?
No.
So you don't know if Europe exists?
No, I don't.
Okay. What do you know?
Whatever I do know, I will say, but if I don't know, I'll say I don't know.
Do you know that the Earth is flat?
You should also do the same, because you don't know for sure.
Do you know that the Earth is flat?
I know it's not a spinning ball.
Oh, how do you know? How do you know for sure, right?
Because you can, us as we walk out and we feel things, right? We're not stupid. We know that we're not moving. Come on.
What do you mean we know that we're not
You go
moving?
ahead
Have you
and
ever
say,
have you ever
"Oh,
been
yeah,
on,
we're moving, we're
have you
spinning."
ever have
Do
you ever
you
been
feel
on like a
it's spinning?
train?
No.
So Native Apparel,
Yes,
have
I
you
know
ever
that.
have you ever been on a train
But you
or
still
been
feel
asleep
the
on an
movement of
airplane?
something. Of course.
So Native Apparel, you got to let me like respond to you, okay? Have you ever been on a train or an airplane and then you wake up and you're like, "Oh, where am I?" Because you don't feel like you're moving at 100 miles an hour. You don't feel like you're moving at 500 miles an hour, but you still are.
Because you know you are moving. So what?
Not
what do
until
you
you
mean?
not until you figure out where you are.
Like even if you got kidnapped and you got put on the plane, you would still
No.
feel emotion.
No, you
that you're
wouldn't.
moving.
You might
Yes,
you might
I
feel
would.
bumps. You might feel bumps, but no, you wouldn't know that you're on a plane.
Well, bumps are still moving.
The bumps could be from bumps in the road and the bumps in a car, right? You would have no idea how fast you're moving.
You wouldn't know how fast you're moving, but you still would feel
Right.
movement.
Right, and the only reason you feel the movement is because you feel like jolts, right? When like you're driving in a car, the only reason you feel the movement is because you feel like a bump in the road, or you feel like the turning, or the only reason that you feel movement in an airplane is because you feel the turbulence, which makes the plane jiggle a little bit, right? What you don't feel is you don't feel steady motion. And if the Earth is a globe and it's spinning, it's moving steadily. There are no bumps, so you would never feel it.
Also, the
We're gonna pivot, aren't we?
landing. I
Yeah,
would like
we're
to do the
pivoting.
moon
Of course, we're pivoting. By the way,
well, thank you for having me up. If you're going to drop me,
I'm not gonna drop you. It's just I'm just calling you
okay.
out for pivoting because I just addressed what you said and then you completely changed the topic.
no, I mean, because I don't agree that any. First of all, I'm here with respect. I don't agree, but I don't agree with anything you're saying.
What did I say that you? What did I say that
Well,
wasn't true?
pivoting, 'cause I don't.
What
I
did I
don't
say that
agree
wasn't
with
true?
it. I didn't say it's not
Which
true
part?
or not. Just you, everything.
Which part?
That I'm telling you
Specifically.
You haven't showed me proof at all yet, because there's no proof of spin. There's no proof
I already
of
showed
gravity.
it. I already showed you that. I can show you the proof of gravity, but you're gonna have to use your brain a little bit. Are you comfortable doing that?
Sure.
Okay. So
It's just simple to me, though. Things fall because they're heavy.
okay, why are things heavy?
What do you mean?
Why are things heavy?
Because of density and mass?
Why does that make things move down?
It doesn't make it move down. It's okay. It, like I said, it's simple. Things fall because they're heavy.
Why
If
do they
it was
move
a
down?
pool,
Why do they
does a
move down
mosquito
instead of
get to
sideways?
fly around?
Why do they fall down instead of sideways?
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't have an explanation for why things fall down.
Because they're heavy. Wait.
No, that explains, perhaps that explains why things fall. It doesn't explain why things fall down.
Well, tell me.
Well,
I don't know what you
in order to look, so I'll get rid of this for a second. In order to explain why things move in general, we typically talk about forces, right? You know, we can talk about like the magnetic force like if you have a piece of metal sitting on your table and then you put a magnet to its side, if it's a piece of iron, say, the magnet will pull the piece of metal towards it, right?
Right.
It'll pull it to the side. And if you put the magnet above it, it'll pull it up. If you put the magnet below it, or if you put it to some other side, it'll pull it in whatever direction. So the direction of motion, when things go from not moving to moving, like when you're holding something and then you let it go, it's not moving and then it's moving. That change in motion, that has to happen for a reason. And it has to happen for a reason. That reason is, we call it a force, right? In the case of a magnet, the force is from the magnet. So the magnet is applying a force to, you know, the metal object on your desk. So the question is, what is the force that makes this thing go from moving to, or not moving, to moving downwards? Why is it downwards? Why isn't it, when I let go, it just flies off to the side? For the magnet, we have the obvious answer, because the magnet is in the direction that the thing is being pulled in. The magnetic force pulls it towards it. So what is causing this object to go downward rather than upward or left?
I still don't get what you're saying.
Why is the direction downward instead of some other direction?
Why would it go in any other direction?
So
that's what I don't get. I'm trying to figure.
Right. Okay. I'll explain again. The point that I'm getting at is whenever we have something going from not moving to moving, there is a reason why it moves in the direction that it moves in. Right? In the case of the magnet, the reason why the magnet attracts the thing in the direction, or the reason why the metallic object moves in the direction it moves in, is because it's moving towards the magnet. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's causing the motion to be in the direction that it's in. So when I let go of this, there's no magnets around, right? When I let go of this, what is causing it to move in the downward direction as opposed to some other direction? Like in the case of the magnet, it causes it to move left or up or forward. Why does this object go down?
I have no idea.
Okay, so this is an issue because it seems like with the way that you understand the world, you're not able to account for simple things like why things fall down instead of some other direction. Whereas if you just look at what the scientific model...
Things fall down because they're heavy. That's what I know. That's
right.
what I've witnessed.
That's why things fall.
Right now, and
that's why things fall, not why things fall down.
Heavy.
That's why things fall, not why things fall down. Down is a... No, you have to, the direction is important, right?
Hold on, son, I'm almost ready. I'm sorry, I'm getting ready for my appointment, but
you're fine. The direction is important. And so the way that I understand the world can account for why it falls down because of gravity. Gravity is a force. That force pulls things towards heavy things, and the earth is very heavy. So this thing gets pulled towards the earth. But under your accounting of the world, you can't explain why it goes down towards the ground, or why it doesn't go down, why it doesn't go left, or why it doesn't go up. You have no explanation for this. So it seems like your view. It seems like your view can't account for the direction that the object moves in.
So you can you tell me about the moon?
Yeah. What about it? Yeah. What about it?
Why do tides happen?
They're a result of the moon and a little bit the sun and the topography of the earth.
Tides happen because the land masses are going up and down on the...
No. So the moon and the sun both produce tides in the water. They tug on the water, and the times and the size and the frequency of the tides has to do with how quickly water can flow in and out of regions based off of the land that's blocking the water from flowing.
There's no gravitational there's no such thing as gravity. It's just all density. Density is everything. Anyways, I gotta get to my appointment.
Density is not everything. I would suggest that you look into the scientific method, look into the experiments that have been conducted that prove that it has nothing to do with density. Science is a fraud. I hope that you're not going to a doctor's appointment then.
I am not going to a doctor's appointment.
Okay. I would suggest not going to a doctor's appointment, but make sure that you take your child to doctor's appointments, because even though science is a fraud, I'd rather your child be healthy. Take care. Science is a fraud. You heard it here first, folks. All right. We have some super chats to read, and then we'll bring on our next guest. From Morgumi with the $2. Shut up about the sun. I know, he really didn't want to talk about the sun. From Garain with the $2. 2 functioning brain cells. Yeah, and they're rubbing together real hard. From Binary Ghost with the $5. If I could feel how fast I was moving in my car, I would have far fewer speeding tickets, right? It's so hard to not realize that you're going 90 down the highway when you're not looking at your speedometer. from Mavsman sending 1 Dr. Blitz gift membership. Again, this should be $4.99 or $3.99. I don't know. I hope TikTok's or YouTube's not charging you more. One lucky watcher now has access to the debate notes. And so you can now, you get the debate notes and you get emojis. So if you're watching and you're a member, make sure to use those emojis and share them. We have a lot of fun emojis that are fun to use. On the to-do list of things to do this month is also increasing the number of emojis that we have for members, of course. All right, let's move on to our next guest. We have One Away Jones. Okay, it looks like One Away Jones isn't here. Next up, we have Cormier. Talk to Cormier.
Hello.
Cormier, how's it going?
It's good. It's going pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Cormier, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's flat.
Why so?
I'm not too well knowledged on it. I've been a flat earther for about maybe a month, I'd say.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
So you have proof that the Earth is flat?
Personally, I don't have proof, but I've seen some things that are compelling.
Oh, okay.
First thing I bring up is, you know how you were talking about the airplane flights?
Yeah.
And like how they take stops and all that. So can you show me an airplane taking a stop, like on the globe and everything?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like a video of it like landing and then taking off,
like,
or
how you were tracing it on the map?
Yeah, I can show you. Yeah, it's right here. So like here's the one from like Beijing to Los Angeles. Here you go.
No, when that stops. Like one that like goes in one direction to stop somewhere and then shoot somewhere else to go to the destination.
So you don't want a direct flight?
No, I want a flight that stops somewhere. Like, I don't know any flights, right? You were explaining it earlier, or you showed a flight that.
Are you talking about like the stopover in Rome from Qatar?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. So it went from Qatar to Rome to Buenos Aires.
Okay, and this is a real flight, no?
That's what Facebook said. I tend to not really trust Facebook, but like apparently this happened for the Argentinian soccer team after the World Cup. So they flew to Rome to refuel and then to Buenos Aires to back home.
So can you show me like this exact path, but on a flat model?
Sure, I guess.
Like going from Rome, going from.
Yeah, let me pull one up. Unfortunately, there's not like a good tool for that, so I'll have to do it manually. But I can do it manually. That's fine. Here it is. Here's a high res one.
Wait, do you know why they say they stopped up there? Or
yeah, at least according to it was a planned technical / refueling stop.
Okay.
So here I have let me open up Paint just so then we can plop this down. Ooh, that's a big image. Oh, don't tell me that Qatar is obstructed. And I need to resize this, sorry, it's way too big. It's like, it's taking forever to load. Okay, and then resize 25%. Okay, now it's a little bit more manageable. Okay, it's a little obstructed. That's fine, we can make do. Okay, so here's the Gleason map. It's a little bit blurry, but we can still find Qatar. Qatar is this little blob here.
What map is this?
The Flat Earth map.
You don't have a better one?
Do you have a preferred
well,
option?
I'm sure there's.
They're all the same. This is just a Gleason map.
Okay. Okay.
So here we have, so Qatar is like right here. And so Rome is right here. And then Argentina or Buenos Aires is like right here or so, like there.
Okay.
So it's almost a straight line. It's not a perfect straight line, but it's close.
Fairly, yeah. So my question to you is, if you're making a stop somewhere, why completely change directions to your destination to, refuel or anything? I mean, like, wouldn't this make more sense? Refueling more in a straight line? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So let's pull up the globe again. Sorry, I gotta do the thing. Where is it? Here it is. So let's actually look at what a straight like a straight trajectory on a globe would be from Qatar to Buenos Aires, and we'll see what would be a straight line place where they could refuel.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Buenos Aires, right? So where along this line could they refuel, do you think?
Wait, how far was the original refueling station?
Their extra refueling was about it was about like a 600 or 700 mile detour.
Okay.
So it adds like an extra like hour to the flight. But like, look, they travel over the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia, but it wouldn't make sense to refuel here because here they've hardly used any fuel to begin with. And then for the rest of it, they're flying over literal war zones. They're flying over Sudan, which is basically in a perpetual civil war. They're flying over the Central African Republic.
When was this flight?
It was in 2022.
Okay.
So like, where were they going to refuel?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Like it doesn't add that much of a detour to actually fly to Rome, right? Flying to Rome, like here's the complete. Like it's not that much. Like it's a little bit, but like it's not that much extra for. It's not that like that. Oops, sorry, it's curving now. It's not like that much extra distance. It's like an extra 1,000 kilometers, which is about an hour's worth of flight.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, that's just one point I have. Just wanted to see that. Another is, how come? Mind you, this is all information from a video.
By the way, actually, before we change topics off of flights, I'd like to show you something that you might find interesting. Would you believe that there are flights that go directly from New York to Tokyo?
Would I believe that?
You don't have to answer that question. It's true. It's true that there are flights that go directly from New York to Tokyo. American Airlines Flight 167 does it every day. So, and this is like the Mercator projection. This is the route that it takes, right? It swings up and then it swings back down. Fine. Now, this flight takes about 13 hours, depends on the weather conditions, of course, if it's windy or whatever. But it's usually somewhere between 12 and a half and 14 hours. So it's 13 hours today. 13-hour flight time. Now, we can plot this on a globe and on a flat Earth, and it'll work fine on both. But let's just to be super careful, let's just plot it on a globe really quick. So we have New York, and then we're going to Tokyo. Tokyo's there. So from New York to Tokyo, it swings up north. See how it swings up north? It passes over Alaska. In this case, in the real world on the actual flight, it actually avoids Russia. See how this is Russian territory, and American flights don't fly over Russia anymore. So you can see that it actually kind of deflects down a little bit to avoid Russia. But this is what the direct path flight would look like on a globe. And it actually does work on a Gleason map as well. You can just draw a direct line connecting New York and Tokyo, and it's basically correct. I'll draw it for you really quick. It's basically this line here. Let me switch windows. It's basically this line here that I've drawn. It's Japan's covered up, but it's basically a straight line. It swings up north and then it goes back down south again. Fine. Okay, so direct flight from New York to Tokyo, fine, it works on both maps. However, there's another flight that is almost identical to the Tokyo one, the New York to Tokyo one. And this is Qantas Flight 28. Qantas Flight 28 flies... It's basically the same flight, except in the southern hemisphere. It flies from Santiago to Sydney. So the New York one goes this way.
Yeah.
And then you can see that they're kind of mirror images of each other, right? On this map. And so we can go plot that on a globe. Here's Santiago, Sydney, or Santiago, and we'll draw a line over to Sydney. Here's Sydney, and you'll find that on the globe, it flies south, and then it swings back up again north, and you'll see that it's a straight line on a globe, right? So it swings south, goes close to Antarctica, and then swings back up again north.
Wait, that's shorter than going like straight across?
This is straight across. See how it's a straight line?
Yeah.
But
like,
hold on. We'll get there. So see how the flight, and this also flies every day, by the way. This flight does swing south and then it swings back up north. So that agrees with the globe. Now, all we have to do is we just have to go check. Does this also agree with the flat Earth? Well, let's just go check. We'll just draw a line connecting the two places. The shortest path connecting Santiago to Sydney would be like that, right? But in this case, they're flying north and then flying south. They're not flying south, so the actual trajectory looks something like this. So on a flat Earth, this is the trajectory they would have to take. And so it should take way longer than the trajectory going from New York to Tokyo. But if we go check, how much longer it takes, if it takes any longer at all. New York to Tokyo, again, takes about 13 hours, a little bit more than 13 hours. Santiago to Sydney only takes an hour and a half longer. Even though on a flat Earth, it should be taking way longer because of the trajectory. It curves so much and it covers such a larger distance. So somehow you have these flights that take basically the same amount of time, and yet the trajectory in the south, the flight path in the south, travels like 2 or 3 times as far while only taking an hour and a half extra. So there's something that's going wrong here with regard to that flight path. And I think that requires some explanation.
I'd agree.
So, what do you think?
I can't explain it. I do appreciate you showing me on both maps, so I can get a clearer image.
Yeah, of course.
Can I bring up another point?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't like what is pivoting? Like, if I just bring up another point, is that pivoting, or
pivoting? Look, so pivoting is generally like when somebody doesn't want to address something and then is like, yeah, but what about this? And then they change topics. Okay. But I mean, look, if you want to say, yeah, I don't have an explanation for that, can we talk about something else? That's fine. I'm totally okay with you recognizing, yeah, that's a good point. I don't have a good explanation. Let's talk. We can move on. That's fine with me. You're good.
I don't know who they is. They said the sun burns 600 billion. What is it? Gases a minute or an hour, and it never changes sizes. And the sun has been up there for however long.
How much fuel does the sun burn per hour? Let's just Google this because I don't know the number off the top of my head. So it's 2.16 quadrillion tons of hydrogen into helium every hour through nuclear fusion. Yeah. Okay.
And my question is, it's been up there for however long, and it never gets smaller. Where is it getting this gas from? That's every hour?
It is way heavier than you think it is.
Okay.
So it could burn that much fuel for another 5 billion years before it runs out.
Well, it not runs out, gets smaller.
So it could burn. So the size of the sun isn't directly related to how much fuel it has, because in fact, actually, as it begins to run out of fuel, it'll actually get bigger, because essentially it has to burn hotter in order. So, and I'll explain this. I'll explain this well, I hope. So you have hydrogen, and you take hydrogen, you combine 2 hydrogens, or roughly you combine 2 hydrogens, and you get helium out. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's roughly the story. It takes a lot of. You have to be at a really high temperature in order to get it to do that. But it's still a fairly low temperature because it's not so hard to fuse 2 hydrogens into helium, or technically it's 4 hydrogens. However, once it runs out of hydrogen, once it's done all of that, all it has left is helium, and it can combine heliums to get even bigger elements. It can burn the helium too, but in order to burn the helium, it has to get even hotter. So what'll happen is that it'll compress as it runs out of fuel. The core will get hotter because it's compressing, and then because it's hotter, now it'll expand out again. And so what'll actually happen is, as the sun begins to run out of fuel, it'll actually get bigger because the core has to get hotter in order to burn the fuel that it has left over. But this is to say, the actual size of the sun, as long as there's hydrogen available, the size isn't going to change, because the size is just based off of how hot the core has to be compared with how much total mass there is. And the mass isn't changing very much, and the temperature at the core isn't changing very much, so the size isn't going to change very much.
Okay.
Yeah, like to be clear, the fuel doesn't disappear, it just turns into something else, right? How do we measure this? So we can we can measure the properties of the sun in a kind of indirect way by measuring its things like its temperature, by basically taking the light and filtering it through like a prism and looking at what kinds of light it's producing. We can also look at the amount of neutrinos that it produces. This tells us what's going on in the core, and those neutrinos come directly from the core to us. They don't like bounce around on the inside of the sun. So there's kind of like a lot of different ways to do it, but a lot of it's indirect.
Okay. You're giving me real good points here, man. I'll tell you that.
I mean, look, there's something worth considering, and I mentioned this to the last, maybe not the last guest, but the guest before that, I think, which is a lot of these questions that flat earthers bring up, some of them are actually good questions, but they have answers. And it just takes either a bit of reading or a bit of listening or a bit of learning to figure out to learn what those answers are. It would be kind of weird if the first person to think, like, you know, the scientists, they tell us that it's burning 2.16 quadrillion tons of hydrogen every hour. It would be very weird if the first person to think, oh, but wouldn't that mean that the sun should be shrinking? The first person to think that was a flat earther? No, of course not. Scientists have thought about this for a long time, and like we understand how this works now. So it's just like, these are good questions, but it doesn't mean that there aren't good answers.
Right. Okay, another question of mine. You know how you were showing the sun lighting up the bottom of the clouds and on top being dark?
Yeah.
There's like, I've seen pictures of like the sun behind clouds and it like illuminating the clouds as if it were to be as far, it should be illuminating all of the clouds instead of just like a specific spotlight.
Yeah, you mean do you mean things like this picture? Oh, sorry, I need to move this to the other window. One sec. Do you mean things like this picture?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
So like in this picture, while it looks like the sun is in front of these clouds, see how it looks like you can actually faintly see the clouds in front of it. It's just the sun is, those clouds are thin, so the sun is just kind of like blasting through them.
Okay.
Did you have something else in mind?
I wish I could have showed you the picture I saw. What information, or have you watched like videos or people, you know, explaining flat Earth?
Yeah, I not only have I watched these videos, I've spoken with like a lot of the top flat earthers for, you know, I've been doing this for years. I've been talking with people for a long time about this stuff.
And is there a piece of information that like spikes your interest? Like that's interesting.
Almost all of it is built on a misunderstanding of like fundamental physics. Like almost all of it. And you know, that's not surprising, because the people, like, you'd have to find flat earthers who have ever taken a physics course in college, and you'll find that there's zero. None of them ever have.
Okay.
And so of course they're going to misunderstand the physics of what's going on.
I understand. What's I about to say? Interesting. I was talking to, what's his name? Angels of Light, you know him?
Yeah, I do. I've spoken with him a few times. He used to beg to come up, but I don't talk to him anymore because, you know, it's not usually a good use of time, and he just wants clout from me. But in fact, I did do a formal debate with him, if you want to see. You can find it here. It was with, let me pull it up so then you can see it. And everybody should watch this because it's really embarrassing how badly it goes for them. I wouldn't be advertising this if I thought I did poorly.
Okay.
So here's the debate. It was on Modern Day Debates. It was like a year ago or something like this. The video is called Debate Flat versus Globe. Nathan Thompson, that's, I don't know his username on TikTok. And Angel of Light versus Dr. Blitz and Mark Reed. And like, it was just a massacre. Like they didn't stand a chance. It was, it went so badly for them. So yeah, since I did this debate, like in a formal setting, I just don't even engage with Angel anymore because at this point he just wants clout.
Okay. So why, if you know what you just said is true, why like the ignorance to not believe the Earth is round, or why like, you know, just not admit that, okay, maybe I am wrong, you know, like why would they still be
I have no idea. Well, okay, no, I do know partially why. So it can start with it can start by just like, you know, people see videos online, right? And like the videos are really, they can feel compelling, they can feel really interesting, they can really make you think about things. And if you don't know a lot of stuff, like if you're not a physicist, if you don't have like the scientific background or whatever, some of these questions might be like, huh, that's kind of a good point. And so then you start looking at them more, and you know, what you'll find is, you know, eventually you get convinced because you haven't looked too deeply into it. You know, you've just been watching this stuff, and you know, look, people can be convinced of a lot of things, so it's pretty easy for that to happen, and I understand that can happen to people. And then people start talking about it to their friends, right? To people in real life, and once that happens, their friends start to pull away. You know, their family starts to think that they're kind of weird. And it's really easy, especially if you're really into it, it's really easy to lose your real life community, right? Because, you know, being a flat earther is being it's a very fringe view, right? It's like, it isn't equivalent to, but it would be like being like a modern day Nazi, right? Like people wouldn't want to be your friends in real life if you were talking about this all the time, right?
I wouldn't compare it to that.
No, I mean, well, to be fair, there are a lot of Nazis who are flat earthers and a lot of flat earthers who are Nazis. Okay. I'm not saying they're the same thing. What I'm saying is that like nobody's going to want to be your friend if whenever you hang out, you're talking about flat earth, right? Unless they're also a flat earther. And so what ends up happening is you have people, they lose their community in real life. Their family distances themselves with to it, et cetera, and they find community online. And once that's happened, it's really, really hard to realize you were wrong because you've already lost your community in real life. And now you're telling me that if you reject your online community, now you have nobody. And so it's really easy to kind of get trapped in like the online flat earth space, because it's like these are your friends, these are the people that are close to you, these are the people who are telling you that, you know, you know what's going on, like you have the story right, you've seen the you're woke, you've peered past the curtain. All of your friends who stopped hanging out with you, they're the kinds of people who they just want to keep you down. Like it's just hard to give up that community. And you know, just as an example, there was a flat earther, pretty famous flat earther. He had one of the biggest flat earth channels on YouTube. His name was Jaren, or his name still is Jaren. He went to Antarctica with a few other flat earthers and a few globe earthers as like a final test to like, this was called the final experiment. Maybe you heard about it. He went to Antarctica and he's like, oh damn, the earth isn't flat. And you know what happened? All of the flat earthers immediately turned on him. They started calling him a shill. They started calling him paid. They started like saying horrible things about him. And so imagine and he's one of the biggest ones. Imagine the kind of pushback and the kind of like vile hatred that you would get from your community if you don't have a lot of clout. Like that would suck. And so it's really easy to stay stuck in the flat earth mindset. And it's really easy to convince yourself to ignore the evidence. If the alternative is losing all of your entire social community. So at least that's my take. You know, they'll probably say something else. The flat earthers will say, oh no, it's because they never actually give us good evidence. But, you know, there's a reason why there's no flat earth physicists, why there's no flat earth geologists. And it's because once you actually look into the science, it's pretty evident what shape the earth is.
And for the last thing before I go, could you explain that the thing that was moving?
Which thing that was moving?
It was basically saying that the Earth is moving.
Oh, the pendulum. The pendulum. Yeah. I can maybe just show you a diagram, and then I'll show you the video. Yeah, let me show you a diagram of kind of how it. Where's it? Okay, so I just want you to look at the one at the North Pole because it's the easiest to visualize. So at the North Pole, imagine that you have a pendulum hanging right above the North Pole, right? And you push it so it swings back and forth. Well, it's swinging, and it's free to just keep swinging back and forth. But if the Earth rotates, then it'll look like, from the Earth's perspective, that the swinging direction changes with time, right? Because its motion isn't changing, but the Earth is spinning underneath it. Okay. And so. And it's harder to visualize, but a similar thing will happen anywhere away from the equator, basically because the Earth is spinning underneath it. And so what you can go do, and the amount that it spins in 1 hour, like the amount that it goes in a circle in 1 hour, is very, very closely related to where on the Earth it is. And so what you can do is you can just set up an experiment like this, just have a pendulum, a very, very tall pendulum that swings for a very, very long time, just have it swing back and forth. And what you'll find is that indeed the pendulum does swing, and it changes its direction as it swings over the course of many hours. And I can show you a video of that really quick. This is one of like the original ways that you could measure the either the rotation rate of the Earth or the shape of the Earth, depending on what it is you're measuring. Let me show you. I think, is it this one that's a good one? Yeah, here's a good one. So see, it is spinning back and forth, but you can see that it's rotating a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And like now it's rotating in a different direction. Or now it's swinging in a different direction. And that's because basically the Earth is spinning underneath it.
And what would flat earthers say to this?
They usually don't. They might invoke like some sort of ether wind or something that we can't feel, but it's still there. They might say that this is actually fake, that there's a motor that makes it do that. It's not a real thing. They might just change topics. They might say something like, yeah, but water is always level. Like there's not really any good responses to it in my view.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking your time and you know.
Yeah, of course.
Explaining everything. You have a good day, man.
Take care, Cormier.
Yeah, you too.
Well, I appreciate that he came up here with good faith questions. I hope he internalizes them. I know that it's hard to internalize them and change your mind, but you know, Cormier, you don't have to change your mind overnight. Just think about it. Think about the stuff I showed you. You know, come to whatever conclusion seems reasonable. All right, let's read some super chats, or, you know, the few. Yeah. So from Riddle Castro with the $5, 2 good faith guests in a row might be a FLERF record. We did get some good faith guests. We got some bad faith guests as well, but yeah, I do appreciate when people come up, they're like, look, the people that are most susceptible or most open to, you know, being wrong are people who are only recently changed their mind. And so I do appreciate that they came up, and they, you know, the people who did come up, these were people who were like only recently flat earthers, or they're on the fence, and those people can be, they can be saved, if you will, right? From Angel Ramirez with $5, ask him to predict the phases of the moon with the flat earth model, then tell him to go outside and see that the moon's phases tell him where the sun is. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, the thing is the Earth being a globe just makes a lot of good predictions about the way the world is. Like, it explains why eclipses are the way that they are. It explains why the sun does what it appears to do in the sky. It explains why the clouds look the way they do. It explains why engineers have to do what they have to do with regards to like bridges and roads and things and tunnels. There's just a lot of things that if you think that the Earth is a globe, a lot of these things make sense. All right, we do have some other things to read. We have some cash apps from $15 from Grimlock. Thank you so much. Let me drink some water. Thank you from Grimlock for reminding me to drink some water. And we have $20 from Shay for remember toes grip the earth guy? Hashtag never forget. Yes, the toes grip the earth. And we also have a new Patreon. Patreons also get access to the debate notes. So Ramon, thank you for becoming a $5 Patreon. It's very much appreciated. If you guys want to become a Patreon, it's a thing that you guys can do. It's like $5 a month, the lowest tier. You get access to my debate notes. The only thing is you don't get access to the emojis because there's not really a way to link Patreon members to YouTube. But if you want access to the emojis and access to the debate notes, for the same price, you can just become a YouTube member. It's like $4 or $5 a month, depending on which channel you decide to join on, either at BlitzPhD or at Dr. Blitz Debunks. Either one, you'll find a membership option, which will get you access to the debate notes. Debate notes are helpful. Sorry, memberships are helpful because they help me be able to predict what my income will be next month, rather than relying on super chats and relying on views on videos and things like this, which helps make me be able to plan for things, which means that I can appropriately invest to improve the Discord, to improve the live stream setup, because there's like a whole setup, there's lights and cameras and stuff. I'm even designing a website, which is, you know, it's another cost. And so things like memberships help me account for those costs that are regular. So if you want to help support the channel, that's one of the best ways to do it. Anyway, I'm going to end the live stream here because it's about noon and I have some actual science to do. I haven't really done a whole lot of my research stuff in about a month because of the health issues I've had. And so I have some actual scientific research to do. I have some work to do in that regard. I have a paper that I have to edit for submission, some other stuff too. So I will see you guys tomorrow for Ask a Physicist. Oh, we got one more super chat before we end it from Riley Leafson with the $2. Flat Earthers want to feel special. They think we're NPCs. That's true. They do. But yeah, so I have some science to do. I'm going to do some more editing on the website. The website, maybe it'll be live today or tomorrow. And that'll be fun because there'll be a lot of new stuff that you guys will get access to. So take care, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Ask a